and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States. Being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goins, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a 3 commission, it's lopsided.
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with 2 people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by concerned citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch Daybreak live. Follow the link on KMAS.com or search KMAS Radio on YouTube.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Shh, we're trying to sleep here.
Yes, ma'am, but this isn't a motel. It's the Olympia Furniture Company showroom.
I just couldn't wait to try it out. I figure it's kind of like a test drive before you take the car home, right?
Here at Olympia Furniture Company, we offer home delivery. We'll even set it up for you.
But we kind of live far out in Mason County.
That's no problem. Let's ring you up so you can get home.
Oh, right. Well, he's a very hard sleeper. Do you think you could just put him in with the new furniture?
The Olympia Furniture Company delivers more than just furniture. They deliver quality, value, huge selection, and the occasional husband.
For a second straight night, the road team takes the wild card game. I'm ABC's Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Cubs are headed to St. Louis.
Swing and a liner, caught out at second, and that's the ball game. And the Cubs have won it.
John Shambi on ESPN as the Cubs beat Pittsburgh 4-0 in the NL wild card game. Jake Arrieta with a complete game shutout. Arrieta owns a .7 ERA since the All-Star break after Wednesday's gem. So how's he done it?
Just determination and, committed to trying to be as good as I possibly can, for these guys.
Arrieta did hit 2 batters, though, and benches later cleared in the 7th inning. Pirates skipper Clint Hurdle on what led to the brawl.
You got a pitcher that's dotting everything up, throwing 4 pitches for strikes, and Cervelli gets pitched hot up top. So I don't think anybody was a fan of that.
The Cubs play St. Louis in Game 1 of the NLDS Friday. An NFL injury update. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck and quarter Vontae Davis are both questionable for Thursday Night Football. Houston's Nate Washington and Cecil Shorts are out. This is ABC Sports. Bucks dropped as the NHL opened its season Wednesday. The defending Stanley Cup champ Blackhawks hosted the Rangers, but New York spoiled Chicago's banner night.
Racing after it is Kreider, gets to it, moves in, feeds Hayes, who backhands it wide. Puck comes in front, Stepan scores. He knocks it into the empty net, and the Rangers take a 3-1 lead.
Kenny Albert on ESPN New York. The Rangers took Game 1, 3-2. The Canadiens' Max Pacioretty put on a show in Toronto.
Subban lifts it down the ice, and Pacioretty's going to put this away into the empty net. He scores. Pacioretty with his second. Habs lead it 3-1.
TSN Radio 690 on the call. Montreal would win by that score. Another Canadian rivalry. Canucks beat the Flames 5-1. And on the West Coast, the LA Kings struck first, but the Sharks bit.
Vlasic shoots, tip, score! Tomas Hertl in front of the net. Marc-Edouard Vlasic shooting it from the point, and the Sharks have a power play goal.
Dan Rusanowski on the Sharks Radio Network. San Jose won 5-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For News Radio, 1030 KMAS, Shelton FM 103.3. If you're listening on 102.1 or even 92.9, you better pop it on over to 103.3 because we're going to run out of signals here pretty soon. Go ahead, we'll wait.
Tomorrow we're doing this?
Over the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I think either late Friday night or something. But
just want to make sure I get some notes out to folks.
Yeah, so 103.3 will be our one and only FM signal, and it's serving us pretty well right now. So that is where we are going, and we are streaming, of course, around the globe, audio and video this morning. The KMAS.com crew waving at you.
There you go.
Sports news, Daniel Seeden. I have to do a hockey story because it's the first game last night of everybody, and so the NHL is in season, and I think that the limit is 2. Daniel Seeden had a goal. 2 assists, helped the Vancouver Canucks. Those are our home team boys, Those are our homies. The Canucks.
There's no other closer team?
No.
Woof.
Season opener, 5-1 over the Calgary Flames. Flamed out in Vancouver. Actually, the game was in Calgary, so it was a home loss for the home team. All right, Washington Huskies take on Southern Cal in Los Angeles tonight, national television. Weekday game at the Coliseum, a rarity. Unlike UCLA coach Jim Mora, who has bemoaned the academic effects of Thursday games, Steve Sarkisian, he doesn't mind, even though some Trojans will be taking midterms on game day.
What?
Well, it's all in the timing. As usual, Washington's starting lineup dotted with players recruited out of the Los Angeles area. Should be a pretty good game, actually, to tell you the truth. Huskies and the Trojans tonight on TV. For his first bye as an Oregon State coach, Gary Anderson took time to watch other teams play last weekend and no doubt paid a little attention to Arizona. His Beavers are visiting the Wildcats this weekend in Tucson, out in the desert. It's the new spread offense. And Oregon State goes against a coach, Rich Rodriguez, who innovated the no-huddle run-oriented spread. About the only thing that's certain about the Oregon Ducks at quarterback is there's a lot of uncertainty. Vernon Adams Jr. has a broken index finger. He sat out last weekend's win at Colorado, while backup Jeff Locke and former walk-on Taylor Alley tag-teamed for the Ducks. Could be more of the same this Saturday against Washington State Cougars. Mark Helfrich isn't saying who's going to quarterback or how much they are going to be a quarterback. But the Cougs will be ready for whoever tries to score against the mighty Cougar defense.
I still say Cougs win this game.
All right, good job. And we begin our coverage at 10 in the morning? No, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
11 o'clock is the pregame, and 1 o'clock is the kickoff.
Yeah.
And it is in Eugenie, because that's the home of the Ducks. There's sports.
Cloudy. What was that?
Be a good sport always. Always be a good sport. Be a good sport always.
Cloudy today and 51 right now. 69 will be the high today. We'll see some rain tomorrow, about 0.3 of an inch. Likely to start around noon or so into Saturday. We're going to see another 0.75 of an inch. Clear skies now on Sunday with some leftover showers in the early morning.
Leftovers.
Maybe a little bit of rain on Monday or Tuesday. But after that, looking good Wednesday into next weekend. As of right now.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line by email or Facebook. Now, from the shores of Hood Canal, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. Thursday here on KMAS, AM 1030, FM 103.3, 615. Thursday, and focus on Shelton today, Dale. Jason Dose is going to be in.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I thought Steve Goins would be in here with his new his new...
the visioning thing.
Vision.
That's the latest story on the website. You can find that at KMAS.com. Jason's going to come in because this upcoming Wednesday, the city is hosting an informational meeting from 5:30 to 7 at the Civic Center about Sierra Pacific Industries and the proposed lumber mill.
Mm-hmm.
So this coincides with the project review and some commenting period that was going on under the SEPA rules, scheduled to close on the 26th of the month. So he's just going to come in and remind us that this is happening and what we can expect to see and hear Wednesday, 5:30 to 7.
Yeah, because they have to extend a public invitation for comment. There's Northwest heads all over the place. The state ferries auctioning off 9, not boats, generators.
Huh.
See, they bought these generators 9 years ago, spent over $5 million, but never used them. The generators on the public surplus website last month, opening price of $300,000. So far, no bids made. Kitsap Sun says the generators were intended as replacements on 2 ferries, but were just too powerful for the boats.
What?
That's what they said.
Come on.
You know, that ferry system is a little goofy. I'm always amazed how they stay on schedule and how they move all that traffic. I am amazed by that. But once they got that formula figured out, the rest of the operation of the ferry system seems to be wacky.
They still you were on a ferry this weekend, right? Last weekend?
Yes.
They still have those old hot chocolate coffee dispensers, or is it nice now? It's like
It hasn't changed.
It's still kind of dreary.
Well, you got your little cafeteria there.
Yeah, but is it still like a Kmart cafeteria?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's
That makes
changed.
me want to
been
go
on
on
any
a
new
ferry.
ferries.
That makes me want to go on a ferry ride.
Yeah.
I remember
I
those.
like those coffee dispensers.
Yeah.
Coffee or
They'd have the
cocoa.
4 cards.
They got
on
those
the front.
in the waiting area, where the passengers wait, the walk-on people.
Yeah.
That's where you get those coffee machines.
Bremerton has a really nice waiting facility.
Yeah. They're all pretty okay. You know, they take care of their travelers.
Yeah. No. Huh. I just wonder you don't look into. So an example, I'm looking at a thing for a new car, right? And you have to get a specific, they are pre-cut window tint kits.
Yeah.
And I can't just go and buy one. Because you could, but I would end up like the DOT.
Generate auto parts.
I'd end up like the DOT here.
Yeah.
Potentially buying something that's a way not what I'm going to use.
Yeah.
But so I have to do some due diligence. I have to do some work.
Yeah.
Will this fit this car?
Yeah, you got to fit it up to the model.
They don't do that?
Apparently, buying these generators, they got a good deal.
I don't care if it fits or not. Does it fit? I don't know. They're cheap.
Too powerful for the boats. They'll generate us right out of the water.
Maybe they should put what if they put those backup generators in regular rotation? Maybe they'd do pretty good for themselves. You've seen those Verizon commercials?
Yeah.
Backup guy from the Saints who will never get a lick of playing time.
Ever. Well, that's kind of what these generators are. They're the backup guys.
Well, sell them
on the bench. So I don't know if they're selling them for $300,000 a piece or if they're selling all of them for $300,000. 9 generators, though.
From 5.3 mil to 300,000.
Yeah. Even if you was 300,000 each, that would only still be 2.7 million. It'd still be half price.
I wonder if we can use these in any other sort of capacity.
That's a good question. We, meaning you and me, or just somebody listening?
Well, you and me, but everybody.
Sure.
The royal we.
I think one of those generators would pretty much take up the whole parking lot out there. So that's one big story that's coming down the pike here this morning.
Geez. All right. Hagen in the news again. 6 additional stores.
What?
So yesterday we talked about...
They're not going to have any stores left.
They won't. Yesterday we talked about 127 they wanted to get rid of. Well, there's 6 others, 3 in Washington, south of Seattle. There's 2 in Olympia. 3 stores in Oregon. So now they're going to leave the Bellingham-based chain with just 31 stores to deal with. I mean, that's got to still be a ton.
And don't forget, kids, there's another Hagen around the next corner. Never mind. 6:20. Right.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Kyle Montgomery with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. NFL owners met in New York City Wednesday for their fall league meeting. The main topics on the agenda were expanding the international schedule in 2016 to go beyond the UK, including possibly Germany and Mexico. Also, the relocation of a team to Los Angeles. No final word yet on an LA team, but the commissioner says a vote can come down as soon as January. Meanwhile, Andrew Luck was limited again in practice Wednesday. Luck and fellow Colts QB Matt Hasselbeck are both questionable Thursday night's game against the Texans. Odell Beckham Jr., meanwhile, was fined over $8,000 for throwing a punch in the Giants' win over Buffalo, according to the New York Post. OBJ plans on appealing. And Jags tight end Julius Thomas was back on the practice field today without a cast or brace. Thomas is yet to play this season after suffering a hand injury in the team's preseason opener. No timeline on when he'll be able to play. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
If you do something for 100 years, A, you're pretty old, and B, by now you must be good at it. Well, that's how long Pennzoil's been making oil. And now at Napa, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil conventional oil in a Napa silver filter for $21.99. Just $21.99 for a century of motor oil know-how. Only at Napa. Conquer the job with Napa know-how. General state pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 11/14/15.
You may think being totally blind is the greatest challenge I face, but actually, it's the fact that I'm often wide awake at 3 a.m. and struggling to stay awake in the middle of the day. This is called Non-24, and it affects up to 70% of people who are totally blind, like me. It makes just getting through the day a real struggle. Learn more about Non-24 by calling 855-856-2424 or visiting learnmore.non24.com.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Don't miss the amazing 5-county regional hiring event this Wednesday from 10 till 2, October 14th. Job seekers and employers in Mason and surrounding counties are welcome to attend at the Transit Community Center with an entrepreneurial center in a storefront space, a job seeker support center in the computer lab. Come ready to be hired. For more information, check out ChooseMason.com.
To those who say, just as the sun rises in the east, so too must breakfast be enjoyed in the morning, McDonald's now says, yeah, we don't really agree with that. Introducing McDonald's new all-day breakfast menu. Now you can get a hot and freshly made Egg McMuffin sandwich, hash browns, and other delectable breakfast tastes day and night. It's time to start enjoying the breakfast you love anytime you wish. Breakfast items vary by location. Deliciousness doesn't.
Some people say it's an excellent source of antioxidants.
And it tastes great.
Others say it can actually lower stress and soothe your senses.
And it tastes great.
It's even been said to reduce high blood pressure.
And it tastes great.
It's McCafe iced green tea, and it's brewed fresh daily with simple ingredients. So come into your locally owned and operated Northwest McDonald's and enjoy a delicious cup any time of day.
Hey!
And yes, as you might have already heard, it tastes great.
Thank you.
Price of participation may vary.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hi, this is Steve Goins from the city of Shelton, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Thanks, Steve, and good work on those that project that you had posted here. We got to see a pretty cool little picture of the future potentially of Shelton there with the
perhaps
round. You know, they changed a bunch of roundabouts in the state of Indiana, I want to say, and the savings that come from it on almost all levels. Now we get it, and the comments are like, they're so complicated. First off, it's just a circle.
It's complicated.
Pack NW
You got to go counterclockwise.
Maybe this is why nobody wants to put their real name, because I'm going to read their quotes on the radio. Pack Wester.
Yeah.
Please, not a roundabout at 10th and Railroad. They simply don't work and are confusing. Okay. So, anyways, the state in Indiana.
By the way, the same could be said for you, sir.
They don't work and are confusing. So, Indiana, and one of the things, and I never even thought of this, if you have a roundabout, guess what it almost entirely eliminates?
Driving through an intersection.
T-boned accidents. Yeah. And that's a
now you
huge...
get some side swipes going.
You can kind of, rubbing and racing.
Yeah.
If we're watching Days of Thunder. But the speeds
But the
slow
T-bones,
down.
which are serious accidents. Man.
T-bones. So
That's the
somebody
worst.
misses a red light.
I always cringe. Do you ever see
Boom.
that texting driving one they've got on TV now with the mom's talking to her daughter?
That's powerful.
Oh, that creeps
powerful
me out. Every time I watch it, I'm impacted by that.
Uh-huh. The one where she goes, "Oh, they love love your picture."
Yeah, and little girl goes, "Yeah," and then boom,
And
T-bone. Wow,
that is a powerful one.
Yeah, really.
That one ad has changed my texting habits.
Yeah, it's just that quick too.
It's still not 100%, but
yeah,
it's better. Yeah. And that ad had something to do with it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Also,
you probably talked to Kaiser while you were driving.
Yeah. Well, even if I'm not texting, I still look back and go, ooga booga.
Yeah.
Something.
Turn around and ooga booga.
Yeah.
T-bone.
Yikes. So, these roundabouts, they do save a lot of money, and they also save on start and stop. You're standing at a gas station, red light for a couple seconds, burning gas, and you don't have to put the metered lights in.
It's different, and change is hard.
Right.
But I think in the big picture, I've grown to accept them, and they're okay. I'm okay with them now. I used to not like them.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, I could buy that. They came in and you go, what is this?
Yeah. I don't get it. It's
French?
They don't work, and they're confusing, just like that guy that wrote to us.
So check it out. It's a great vision plan results released on the website. The link to the final plan is there as well. But a nice looking scene of downtown Shelton, potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rendition.
I like the perimeter of trees that are there too.
Yeah, they got a green belt area designated, so it's quite a lengthy process to get through the whole thing, but pretty interesting. And thanks to everybody who participated.
You did that, right?
Part of history. Jerry and I were involved in the first one. They had another in April, I think it was, and then they had a subsequent one in June or July this last summer, and we missed that one, or maybe Jerry went to that one and I missed that one. I had to go we did a shredding event that day, and I had to go take care of some of that. Anyway, moving on. There is a big crowd, large crowds today at a public hearing on 2 oil terminals proposed at the Port of Grays Harbor.
Okay.
2 companies want to expand existing facilities to bring crude oil by train from the region of North Dakota and Montana where they're doing that sort of thing. The oil would then be transported by tankers or barges to refineries in Puget Sound and Northern California. The controversy continues, whether they're safe or not safe, and what happens if there's an oil spill, and that's what the crowds are expected to bring to Hoquiam today. It'll be the center of the universe.
Looks like Paul Allen is going to step up and pay some money.
Oh, yeah?
To fight Ebola.
Okay.
You thought I was going to say Cam Chancellor.
Yeah. No.
A year of donating $100 million to fight against Ebola. The apparently 17th richest man in the world, billionaire Paul Allen, has announced 7 more grants totaling $11 million to build infrastructure to prepare for future health crises. The Microsoft co-founder says he's making new grants to deal with gaps in healthcare infrastructure that challenged international response to the 2014 Ebola outbreak that happened in West Africa.
All right, we've got news on the way, and then we'll be back with sports, weather, and a whole lot of Thursday straight ahead. So stay right there, won't you? 103.3 and AM 1030. It's News Radio, KMAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. Mason County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Officer Cindy Brewer has been elected to serve on the board of the National Animal Care and Control Association for the next 2 years. Recently elected by her peers, Officer Brewer's responsibilities will include serving on committees, writing magazine articles, as well as educating and mentoring individuals working in the field of animal control. Brewer says that in addition to getting to share her experience and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States, being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goins, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a 3 commission, it's lopsided.
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with 2 people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by Concerned Citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Marilyn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Hi, this is Tom Hartman, host of the Tom Hartman Program. Join me 9 to noon on News Radio 1030 KMAS. The next president is going to nominate at least 3 and probably 4 or 5 members of the United States Supreme Court. That president has to be a Democrat. Even if it's a middle-of-the-road Democrat, even if it's a conservative Democrat, trust me, you do not want a Republican appointing 4 members of the United States Supreme Court. This country will go so far backwards, so fast, and in such a destructive and perhaps irreparable way.
I guess. For News Radio 1030 KMAS, Shelton FM 103.3 and 92. No. Well, yeah, but no. And streaming online at KMAS.com. Yeah?
Yeah, 103.3.
Okay. That's all we all know. That's all I know. All right. So sports, there is sports notes, and it boils down to some big games in the Pac-12. First time Sarkisian, the coach of the Trojans, is playing his old team, the Huskies, who he left Southern Cal to go coach the Huskies, and then he left the Huskies to coach Southern Cal. It's very, very confusing. But that's the way it is. And
what makes what makes a hiring person think that they can come back in, perhaps have changed their ways? He had to have left.
Well, when he left Southern Cal, he was the assistant coach to Pete Carroll.
Oh.
To become the head coach.
So he wasn't the head coach.
Of the Huskies.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a promotion of a sort. And then he went back as the head man of Southern Cal. So that's the story there. And now that's going to be a big matchup. It'll be a lot of fun to watch tonight. Huskies with they've been kind of bumping along, but they're okay. I think one of the big games of the weekend for all of national college football will be the last two undefeated teams in the Pac-12, Cal Golden Bears and the Utah Utes, both ranked high in the top 10.
Boy, there's a lot of people in the Pac-12.
Yeah, there is. There's 12 teams, I think, last time I checked.
Sure.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Now, the other big banner game, of course, this weekend is the Cougars going down to Eugene to take the Ducks on. So Cougars can eat up Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's that. And then congratulations to the Chicago Cubs who make it into the playoffs, or as they said in the news, the real playoffs. I don't know what the wild card was. I guess that was a make-believe playoff.
Not real.
And so the Cubbies are in. That's awesome. It'll be the Cubs and the Astros in the World Series. That's my prediction and your prediction too. If you want to get on my bandwagon.
Wait, I said that first yesterday.
Yeah, you said it first. So I'm getting on your bandwagon.
I'm not letting you take that one.
Okay, you got that one. So Astros and Cubbies, World Series 2015. Awesome.
Because then when the Astros were in the National League, they met the Cubbies that'd be good.
That would be the good storyline, huh? They probably have a long history of losing to each other.
Yeah.
You win the game. No, you win it. No, I don't want to win. You win.
Also, we have NFL football tonight.
Oh, we do. Completely forgot.
51 and clear skies. 70 or so is going to be the high today, which is mostly cloudy skies.
Is it a big game?
Rain, I don't remember. Rain tomorrow, 0.3 of an inch, 0.75 of an inch on Saturday is what's likely. It's 6:37 here at KMAS.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the gateway to the Olympic Mountains, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Is he really your buddy? He says he's my buddy too.
I had a hamburger with him at a Taco Bell once.
Good morning to you.
In Los Angeles, no less.
Earlier this week, Dale, we had Under Sheriff Jim Barrett on. We were talking about the jail situation. We talked a lot about poverty and homelessness here in the area. We had a great debate this past Tuesday with the Commissioner of Finance, Mike Olson, and his challenger, Kathy McDowell. Let me ask you a question. This morning coming in, there was a individual here, kitty corner to the radio station, just kind of talking loudly in the middle of the street, performing little performance art. What do you do in a situation like that?
Well, I thought about her. I think it could have been a male. I'm not even sure.
I think female as well.
Yeah. And you know what I thought, to be honest with you? As I got out of my truck and I was coming to the station, I thought, but for any slight adjustments, I could have been that person.
Oh.
I'm not far from being that kind of a person.
Right.
I talk to myself, you know, and, you know, there's been times when life was pretty dark and I had no cares about anybody or anything because I just felt like I was getting the short sheet. And so, you know, but for, you know, who knows what? We're not far from being those kinds of people.
No.
And I don't know how she got to that point in time, but she didn't scare me.
No. I could see how perhaps...
but she could be intimidating.
Yeah.
And she was out in the middle of the street, and she was talking to two young people that were walking across the street.
A conversation happening.
There was a one-way conversation. Okay. They didn't want to talk to her. So...
I mean, do you call the cops? Do you say, you get the cops involved? And then it starts this whole rigmarole that we were just talking about with Jim Barrett, where you throw folks in the
hospital. No, because we don't have a facility to hold people that are mentally unstable. And they don't have a professional on staff to make that evaluation. So only thing they can do is put them in the hospital with a 24-hour guard.
Yeah.
Costs us thousands of dollars to do something like that.
It's tough. It's tough, and it happens. It's right here on our streets, and you know something is going to eventually have to be done. I was just wondering your thoughts, because you know you could go couple different ways. Someone could be so freaked out they call the cops, or who knows? Maybe something else happens.
Yeah,
and but at the same time, you may not want to let the person not let the person go along their merry way, because they may then get involved in something that could impact someone else.
Yeah, you know, and it always gets back to, could they be a danger to themselves or others?
Right.
And that's what I always kind of use for a barometer. She looked as though she wasn't endangering herself or anybody else, and she wasn't really harassing that other couple. She was talking to any moving object. It could have been a cat. And she still had the same statement to make.
Right.
Nah, just let her be on her way. Later on today, when there's more people in town and there's daylight, that's a different story.
Sure. Okay.
But at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, not hurting anybody.
Right.
Let it happen. Unless somebody complained about the noise or something, then the cops would have to respond to it.
Yeah,
certainly.
Just another kind of...
Or if she was checking doors or banging on buildings or something like that, that would be a different thing. But she didn't seem to be bent on any destruction.
Right.
She was just trying to make a point.
Yeah.
You know, and performing a little bit. So
tough.
It is tough. It's a tough call. And I think we didn't have to used to make those kinds of decisions or evaluations.
No.
And so it is a different world.
I tried to talk with my neighbors who just moved over here from the other side of the mountains, and they are very cautious, almost to the point of not necessary. Like they'll go walking on the trails, or they'll walk on this or that, or I'm scared to go downtown, and we're in Shelton, and it's awful to say because tragedies happen in small towns. We just saw it in Roseburg, but we're in Shelton. What's going to happen? Really?
I know.
I would hate to throw this person in jail and then find that there's something else that is a better way to help.
Right.
And then cost all of us these tax dollars.
Is an arrest the best thing?
Yeah.
Is the deal. But see, the problem is there's no other alternatives.
Right. We don't have an alternative.
It's black and white. Either you're arrested or you leave them be. You can talk to them, but again, I don't know if you're getting through. Other headline news, Jeff, we're tracking this morning. Anything jumping out at you?
Let's see. Authorities, this is an update from the fire we had here in town just 2 days ago. Authorities say a 20-year-old woman died in the Shelton House fire after inhaling toxic material from the fire. The Olympian reports that the Mason County Coroner's Office has identified the woman who was a resident of the home just up the street from us. 2 people who escaped the fire were treated and released in an Olympia hospital. We got a message from the family who asked us to pass along the message to be cognizant of the trying times that the family's going through right now. There's a lot of posting on social media about this event, a lot of pictures of the family being spread around and shared on personal pages. And I know it's kind of a, I'm telling you this, but we have the information on our Facebook page. But additional mentions, additional focus on the family and the house. They asked for privacy in this time.
Yeah, and we should respect that. Tragedy. And
really is
hard to cope with.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances.
6:45 here at KMAS. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll find out the morning how the opening bell happened with the stock market, and then from there, see what the first half hour of the market is.
Something for you, my friend.
Uh-oh.
Christmas. Stephanie, are you listening? She's gone to work.
She's at work already.
Amazon launching a site for handcrafted goods called Amazon Handmade. Shoppers' appetite for handmade items just ahead of the holiday season. Amazon Handmade will include 5,000 sellers from 50 states, 60 countries, 80,000 items, factory-free policy. All products are sold on site.
I don't feel bad shopping on Amazon because they're from Seattle.
What's their competition? Who else is out there?
Overstock? No. Because Overstock is like used, or like gently surplus. I don't think there is one.
Walmart.com?
Yeah, that'd be their biggest.
6:45. Good morning.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6. And they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com.
If you don't want people on your land, let them know with no trespassing signs. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Post your signs in places that are easy to see and make your intentions clear as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
If your chicken coop is nicer than your garage, then you may have a passion for poultry. We are looking for some innovative, creative coops just like yours. Enter our Creative Coop Photo Contest brought to you by Cargill Nutrena today. 3 lucky coop owners will each receive free Cargill Nutrena NatureWise all-flock feed. There are many ways to enter. You can enter up to 5 photos online at livingthecountrylife.com/Creative Coop Contest or hashtag your Coop Photo Creative Coop Contest on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, or find us on our Facebook page at Living the Country Life. View our website to browse entries and get ideas for your own poultry palace at livingthecountrylife.com/Creative Coop Contest. No purchase necessary. Contest ends at 8:59 p.m. Central Time on December 31st, 2015. Subject to official rules at livingthecountrylife.com/Creative Coop. Void or prohibited. Sponsor Meredith Corporation. Enter your coop photos today at livingthecountrylife.com/Creative Coop Contest.
It should be obvious to people that they shouldn't hunt, fish, or simply wander onto private property without the owner's permission. But we don't live in a perfect world, and sometimes folks honestly don't know that they've crossed onto your land. Posting no trespassing signs is one way to let the public know that they shouldn't be there. Most local law enforcement agencies require the posting of a no trespass sign before any enforcement action will be taken. Bob King is an agriculture specialist at Monroe Community College in Rochester, New York. He says before you put up any signs, it's important to be sure where your property begins and ends.
What we are seeing at times is that when people, as well-intended as they may be, they're trying to post their property to keep people from trespassing on it, they're actually posting signs on somebody else's property. So it's important that people understand their boundary lines, that when they're posting signs, that they're conspicuous, that they're following the laws within their state.
Hang signs on a fence post, a standing post, or a non-marketable tree. Don't fasten them super tight against a tree. Make sure there's a little bit of space so as the tree grows and expands, it won't pop off the sign. King recommends using nails or screws made of aluminum, which is a healthier material for the tree. After the signs are hung, don't forget about them.
It's advisable to make sure that people periodically check their signs within the year that they're posted to make sure that the sign's not torn down, that it's not damaged, that it's still legible, that the name and address of the owner or the point of contact is visible so all can see.
All signs posted on private land have to be a sufficient size so they're easily seen. You'll find no trespassing laws and signage for all 50 states at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
New games and lots of winning at the Lucky Dog Casino. And every Saturday night in October, the Lucky Dog is giving away 40 tablets with keyboard and case. Don't miss your chance to get in on the winning. Hungry? Don't miss the specials at the North Fork Grill, now open to all ages. Weekdays, 5 delicious entrees for $5.99 each before 5. It's Steak and Shrimp Fridays for $9.99, and every Saturday is Prime Rib Saturday. Come on, get lucky. Minutes north of Shelton on Highway 101. The Lucky Dog Casino.
Good morning. I'm Thurston County Sheriff John Snaza, and you're listening to Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sheriff. 651.
You know he's got a twin brother, Sheriff of Lewis County.
I do know that. Yes.
Yeah. Pretty cool. I learned lots of stuff that morning.
That's right. You did meet them both.
Yeah. Them and about every law enforcement and emergency responder in the world. I think we're all in there.
Were you feeling you were a little nervous looking around?
You know, it was a tough audience because I tried to lighten it up a little bit. And I go to my benefit, I says, I don't know many of you people. And that's a good thing. And they just like stone faced.
They don't get it.
They didn't, no chuckles, nothing.
You see people checking your name.
Yeah. So like 2 guys from FBI, I'm sitting there like they got their phones out of there.
Yeah.
We'll fix that. I'll find out who you are. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun morning.
Cool.
All right. So we are looking into a lot of things that are happening in and around the South Sound region. Out of Tacoma, jurors deliberate today in the trial of a Pierce County man charged with murdering his fiancée in 2014, shooting her to death. The case against William Grisso began in June of 14 when he reported Nancy Gardner was missing. Detectives later found Nancy in a secluded area near Belfair with gunshot wounds. Might remember that a little over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And so that jury starts, or that trial starts today.
Also in Tacoma, the Army has dropped a desertion case against a veteran JBLM Army Ranger who spent 16 months in jail after military police illegally searched his Tacoma apartment. The Trib reports an Army judge dismissed the 6 charges against Staff Sergeant Brian Schissow based on delays while awaiting trial. Schissow had been suspected of using drugs by leaders in a special ops unit.
Yeah, so, and no word on what they found there because it was an illegal search. So that those allegations may or may not have been true, but because it was an illegal search of his apartment, probably for technical reasons, the whole thing is tossed. And so that's what happens sometimes. Also, you mentioned Hagen adding 6 more stores to their list of those they'd like to sell.
Yikes.
So if you're in the market, 3 stores south of Seattle have been tacked, and 3 more in Oregon. So you might get a good deal. So that'll even
start up your own little grocery store,
your own little chain.
Those have got to be hard to, there's so much produce in and out.
Yeah, you got to time out your employees' schedule and your consumer dating thing, and sell by dates, and like you say, produce and fruit and vegetables and all that has to be, and meat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to keep the rotation going, and
not easy. No wonder. Not
everybody's in that game.
The first Hagen is in Bellingham, and it looks much different than all the other Hagens that they've put out there. It's very, it's kind of mom and pop. I mean, it looks more like a regular mom and pop grocer than the chain has become. Even within the city of Bellingham, the first one is kind of deep in the city, and then one of the other ones is kind of near the college, and they're completely different.
You're an old Hagen shopper, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Beer aisle?
Oh yeah, aisle 10. It was the name of our.
That was the name of your house?
It was the name of our intramural football team.
That would make sense.
Aisle 10, and I think we had one huddle. We had one huddle all season, and it was whether or not we should invite the other team out to the bars after the game.
Well, you good sports. That was nice of you to think about them. Good times.
Oh, man.
Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, Panic at the Disco.
You like them?
I used to like them.
Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die. Debuted at number 2 on the charts on this date, not 2 years ago today.
Yeah, their song titles are mostly sentences. They're full sentences.
What? Like this one?
Yeah.
My Name is My Name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which debuted at number 4 on the charts by Pusha T.
Oh, Pusha.
Same day. All this happened on the same day. And then Larry Verne, who did Mr. Livingston and Please Mr. Custer, I Don't Want to Go, died. So whether he wanted to or not. Larry Verne was his name, and he passed on this date on 2013. So all those events all happened on the same day. Panic at the Disco. I went through a couple of those.
Panics at the Disco?
Yeah.
Chuck Berry got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He sure did.
In 87. Same day, Hail Rock and Roll movie, the biographical film of that same name. No, it's not the same name. His name, Chuck Berry. The name of the film, Hail Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And Great Balls of Fire was recorded by Jerry Lee Lewis on this date, 1857. Oh, wait, 1957.
Wow.
Yeah. Him hitting 80. Most amazing.
Great Chicago Fire erupted in 1871. Everybody remembers that Great Chicago Fire. But there was another fire at the same time.
Somebody's cow kicked, misses somebody's.
That's what they say about that Chicago
somebody's cow
fire.
kicked one of those lanterns over.
But I think it was in Wisconsin
and
that there was
over
an
the state
even
lines?
greater fire.
Yeah?
With even greater destruction and loss of life. Nobody ever talks about it.
How come?
I think because it wasn't part of a big city like Chicago.
Oh, okay.
There's another, the Great Chicago Fire was actually the second biggest fire of that year.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try a market report for you here.
We're going to try.
And if not, I'll be hurriedly spinning in the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Okay. And then the news. And then we'll be back.
It's almost 7 here at KMAS.
Good morning. Daybreak with him.
Hi.
And you.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
The Tom Hartman Show is live from 9 to noon, weekdays on 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 102.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Talks with computer Dell over a possible merger. Dell is said to be working to secure financing for an all-cash offer. Healthcare REIT Biomed Realty Trust is being acquired by Blackstone in a deal worth $8 billion. It's expected to close in the first quarter of the next year. The number of Americans filing for first-time jobless claims fell last week. The Labor Department says applications dropped 13,000 to 263,000. That's fewer than expected. And Volkswagen U.S. Chief Michael Horn is on the hot seat today. He will testify before a House subcommittee about rigged emissions tests. That hearing begins in just about 10 minutes from now. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
While most video surveillance solutions capture and store hours of nothing, CUDA Eye by Barracuda Networks only captures video when something happens. Once captured on camera, the video evidence is immediately encrypted and sent to the cloud for safe storage and easy retrieval from any web browser or mobile device. With CUDA Eye, there's no network configuration or software to install. Just plug one or more cameras into your network to better protect your business. Don't get caught with nothing. Do something about it. Check out CUDAEye.com. That's CUDAEYE.com.
There are no guarantees in love, but there is a guarantee from EH Plus by eHarmony, our new personal matchmaking service. At EH Plus, your own personal matchmaker gets to know you so well, we can guarantee introductions that will be satisfying and exciting. EH Plus goes far beyond regular online dating sites, and that's a guarantee. Visit us at ehplus.com/love or call 1-855-930-LOVE.
NFL primetime football, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights on 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 102.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. It promises to be a tough day for Volkswagen's top U.S. executive. He's due to testify at this hour before a congressional committee demanding answers about why the company rigged millions of diesel vehicles to cheat on emissions tests. ABC's Scott Goldberg has a look ahead.
This will be the first chance Congress gets to question someone from Volkswagen directly, and it's unclear how much the CEO of the company's America division, Michael Horn, will be willing or able to share. According to his prepared remarks, he'll say he just learned about the scandal over the past few weeks, but he's also expected to reveal a number of new 2016 models won't make it to American dealerships because they too have that software designed to cheat on emissions tests.
South Carolina is still swamped and the suffering is spreading. At least 4 rivers are sweeping floodwaters to the eastern part of the state to coastal communities, where it could cause more trouble next week. ABC's Alex Perez is there.
The rain has let up. It's now been 2 dry days here in Columbia, South Carolina. Still a lot of concerns. The rivers are so swollen that there are concerns with the dams here. So authorities are keeping a close eye on the dams right now. There are 13 dams that have failed and another 62 that are being watched very carefully.
President Obama personally telephoned the head of Doctors Without Borders to apologize for the accidental airstrike that hit a clinic in Afghanistan. The group is demanding an independent investigation. The numbers are in on bike helmets, and scientists say they prove they're well worth the trouble. A study found they reduce the risk of severe head injuries by 60% and protect your face. A new therapy is showing promise in reversing hair loss. It's called PRP, short for platelet-rich plasma. Doctors take platelets from a patient's own blood, separate out the growth-inspiring platelets, and inject them in the scalp. Rupert Murdoch tweeted an apology saying he meant no offense. In a previous tweet, he sang the praises of Republican presidential hopeful Ben Carson, saying he would be the first real black president. The media mogul now says he finds both men charming. This is ABC News.
Blanchard & Company would like to offer their listeners 10 1921 silver Morgan dollars for only $26 each, including free shipping when you pay with a credit card. Silver Morgan dollars are America's most popular coin, and now you can own 10 historic 1921 silver Morgan dollars for only $26 each. Call Blanchard now to own your piece of history. 800-210-1225. Supplies are limited, so call now. 800-210-1225.
As an entrepreneur, you're always on the go. So turn your mobile phone into a business phone system with Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get a new business number or keep your current one. Sound professional with a main greeting and multiple extensions that forward callers to your mobile phone. You can even get voicemails transcribed. Join over 150,000 small businesses who stay connected with Grasshopper. See how it works at grasshopper.com. The entrepreneur's phone system.
Hillary Clinton is breaking from the Obama administration on that recently announced Pacific Trade Agreement. ABC's Kenneth Moten says it's an about-face.
As Secretary of State, she supported it. But presidential candidate Hillary Clinton says the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal does not meet her high bar of creating good American jobs, raising wages, and advancing national security. Clinton talked with PBS NewsHour.
I am not in favor of what I have learned about it.
The deal is key to President Obama's economic strategy, eliminating 18,000 taxes countries put on U.S. products. Congress still needs to approve. Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
Hamburgers may be blasting into space soon. The Russian Research Institute, responsible for designing meals for the country's astronauts, says it's adding the American fast food to their menus. The head caterer says proposals to change space menus have been plentiful since food was mass-produced. Astronauts already enjoy chicken teriyaki and other ethnic foods. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Mason County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Officer Cindy Brewer has been elected to serve on the board of the National Animal Care and Control Association for the next 2 years. Recently elected by her peers, Officer Brewer's responsibilities will include serving on committees, writing magazine articles, as well as educating and mentoring individuals working in the field of animal control. Brewer says that in addition to getting to share her experience and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States, being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goines, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a 3 commission, it's lopsided.
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with 2 people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by concerned citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch Daybreak live. Follow the link on KMAS.com or search KMAS Radio on YouTube.
Snow melts. Rain falls. Rivers form. This happens all over the world. But when it happens here, something wonderful unfolds. A renewable source of energy, created without releasing even an ounce of CO2 into the Earth's atmosphere.
Mason PUD 3. Clean, renewable, and reliable energy every day.
For a second straight night, the road team takes the wild card game. I'm ABC's Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Cubs are headed to St. Louis.
Swing and a liner, caught out in second, and that's the ball game. And the Cubs have won it.
John Shambi on ESPN as the Cubs beat Pittsburgh 4-0 in the NL wildcard game. Jake Arrieta with a complete game shutout. Arrieta owns a .7 ERA since the All-Star break after Wednesday's gym. So how's he done it?
Just determination and, committed to trying to be as good as I possibly can, for these guys.
Arrieta did hit 2 batters, though, and benches later cleared in the 7th inning. Pirates skipper Clint Hurdle on what led to the brawl.
You got a pitcher that's dotting everything up, throwing 4 pitches for strikes, and Cervelli gets pitched hot up top. So I don't think anybody was a fan of that.
The Cubs play St. Louis in Game 1 of the NLDS Friday. An NFL injury update. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck and quarter Vontae Davis are both questionable for Thursday Night Football. Houston's Nate Washington and Cecil Shorts are out. This is ABC Sports. Bucks dropped as the NHL opened its season Wednesday. The defending Stanley Cup champ Blackhawks hosted the Rangers, but New York spoiled Chicago's banner night.
Racing after it is Kreider, gets to it, moves in, feeds Hayes, who backhands it wide. Puck comes in front, Stepan scores. He knocks it into the empty net, and the Rangers take a 3-1 lead.
Kenny Albert on ESPN New York. The Rangers took game 1, 3-2. The Canadiens' Max Pacioretty put on a show in Toronto.
Subban lifts it down the ice, and Pacioretty's going to put this away into the empty net. He scores. Pacioretty with his second. Habs lead it 3-1.
TSN Radio 690 on the call. Montreal would win by that score. Another Canadian rivalry. Canucks beat the Flames 5-1. And on the West Coast, the LA Kings struck first, but the Sharks bit.
Vlasic shoots, tip, score! Tomas Hertl in front of the net. Marc-Edouard Vlasic shooting it from the point, and the Sharks have a power play goal.
Dan Rusanowski on the Sharks Radio Network. San Jose won 5-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3. That's it. Just the FM 103.3. Don't go to those other ones. Or if you're on those other ones, come on, 103.3. Switch it over. And around the globe, KMAS.com, audio and video this morning. Good morning, kids. Nice to have you along with us. And Marshawn Lynch, day to day with the hammy. And no word yet on whether he's going to suit up for Sunday's game against Cincinnati or not.
I hope so.
Pretty serious. And he's a tough guy, so this thing must really be bugging him. I mean, they found something in the MRI that's as specific as they got with the official release of information. But I'm just thinking, knowing how tough Marshawn Lynch is, this has got to be serious for him to have taken time off.
Yeah.
So it's the first time ever in his career that he's missed a game for an injury. Crazy. And other headlines and stories that await us this weekend as the Seahawks get ready for Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals, the third-ranked Cincinnati Bengals in all of the NFL, the undefeated 4-0 Cincinnati Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals that always manage to blow their playoff chances apart. First game right out of the gate, like they just can't win that playoff game. Now, they did win one, I think, a year or two ago, and then they lost their second one.
More like the Bungles, am I right?
Yes, the Bungles. Whatever. So, Russell Wilson is among those who are impressed with what he's seen from Andy Dalton. Because Russell Wilson's a nice guy, and he would compliment somebody.
He's like, boy, I wish I was 4-0.
Ahead of the game against the Bengals, Wilson said on his conference call yesterday that the Bengals to the Bengals media that he had a feeling the kind of start Dalton has enjoyed was on the horizon. I've seen a little bit of him so far this year, watching him every once in a while after games. I hear he's playing at a high level, and I'm not surprised by it. He seems like a guy that loves the game of football and loves to work. He's coached extremely well, too. Obviously, Coach Marvin Lewis is a good coach, and he's got good players around him, and he's playing at a high level. All the gushies, I don't want to offend anybody. I want you to know that we respect our opponents, and, Russell Wilson does. Now, through 4 games, Dalton, he's got the highest quarterback rating in the league, 87.7. The third most passing yards, 1,187 yards. Third most passing touchdowns, 9. And the fewest sacks, 2. Phew. Russell Wilson can get 2 sacks in 2 plays.
2 plays.
He also has the Bengals rolling into the game against the Seahawks 4-0, a pair of fourth-quarter comeback drives that won Cincinnati's Week 3 game at Baltimore. And so a lot of folks are noticing Dalton with this. This is the best start of his career ever. And something to be concerned about as we move. But I'm confident our defense will keep Dalton relatively in check this weekend. I think it'll be another low-scoring game. I'm not going to be dumping a bunch of points on the Seahawks game this week. And the challenge for us is to find a way to score.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if there needs to be another defense on the field. We can't score. So things to think about as we move through the rest of the week and get ready. Tomorrow, by the way, would be Blue Friday. So short turnaround, Seahawks play Sunday morning at 10.
Yes.
In Cincinnati. Cougars play Saturday. We've got that game for you. And tomorrow night is Pink Out at High Climber Stadium. Central Kitsap the opponent. And we've got pregame for you at 6:45 with John McLamory and Brandon Sparks. And the kickoff, Jeff, at 7. A heads up, homecoming game, very special this season for the Shelton High Climbers. We'll tell you more about that next week. But big doings brewing.
If you're an alumnus.
Yes. Oh, by the way, yes. Football alumni from the state championship team of 83. If I get the
83 or 85?
Somewhere in that era. Yeah. You guys know who you are.
80.
Please reach out to Jim Jetson, the athletic director at Shelton High School.
Yeah.
And try to make arrangements to show up for homecoming this year. I think it's the 23rd.
23rd.
Big night. More special than most.
Yeah.
So we are now actively looking for members of that roster of the state championship team. Whose coach was Jack Stark?
Yep.
That's what I'm going to say about that.
7:15 at KMAS. It's 51 out there now. 70 should be the high today with cloudy conditions. Rain tomorrow. Looks like it's going to start around 10 and about 0.3 of an inch all told throughout the day. Heavier on Saturday, near 0.75 of an inch. Sunday, some rain early on and then clearer skies. Rain Monday, Tuesday, then clear.
Adapt your home and community to wildfires and keep this.
You're not what I wanted to hear. This is what I wanted to hear.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dan on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line by email or Facebook. Now, from the southernmost tide pool of Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
I was able to point the guy in the right direction.
Well, he was close. It sounded the same.
The O and the M, often change. It's kind of gross, but we have, for the last couple weeks, had in our house a fruit fly epidemic. Epidemic's a strong word, but
Jeff asked me off the air. He says, "Are you guys getting fruit fly?" And yes.
A lot of people
cleaned our counters of vegetables and fruits, and I didn't even open up a bottle of wine because they attract to that.
As soon as you open that thing.
And so we did everything right, and they're still around. The moment you sit down for dinner or something, they're there.
So
I think they're coming from the outside and seeking indoor shelter.
They only live about 10 days. They go from egg to adult mature about 10 days.
Boy, they're busy.
A strong, healthy male fruit fly can fly 6.5 miles.
What? How do you know these things?
Day. I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up so I can give you guys some great information. Strong like bull.
Man, I had no idea.
So we have...
so these might be my neighbor's fruit flies.
They could be. Just blame them.
Okay.
We have poured boiling water down the sinks. We've put a little vinegar baking soda combo down there too to deodorize things.
Where do they hatch? Where do they live?
We're having a hard time finding them.
All they are is just fly around.
Yeah, I don't know. We did a deep clean, a bleachy clean in our kitchen.
Yeah.
And there were parts of near where we keep our plates and stuff that had splatter from wine bottles and things like this. So I could buy, maybe they were flying around from there. But yeah, you pull out any sort of, like Kaiser likes bananas. So we got some bananas and he just goes crazy on those, but then the fruit flies as well.
Yeah.
So yesterday I asked Stephanie to bring home some wine. I says, I need you to get yourself some red wine.
Okay.
Tough
duty. Yeah.
Because I'm going to try an experiment. Well, I tried a
They're easier to catch when they're drunk. I'll tell you that right now.
You mean?
The fruit flies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
your wife too, probably.
I tried some apple cider vinegar yesterday.
Yeah.
Put it in a mason jar and made a funnel out of a piece of paper. Okay. So the theory is they fly in the funnel. You add a couple drops of Dawn dish soap to disturb the surface tension of the apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
And the fruit flies will land, and then
you got them.
You got them. And within 5 minutes, we probably had 20 of these little fruit flies around this apple cider vinegar.
Wow.
So that is one unfiltered apple cider vinegar, taking the cap off, then put in a little like saran wrap or something over the top, poke a couple holes in there. Fruit flies
get in, they can't
get out. So that's one of them. Vinegar and dish soap, as I mentioned, you got to have the dish soap to break the plane, and then the fruit flies will land in it. They'll get the dish soap on their bodies, and they won't be able to fly.
Too much weight.
Red wine, like we mentioned, try leaving out an open bottle with a little liquid. You don't want to waste anything.
No.
And then here
it doesn't take much for them to be attracted to that.
No, they smell that stuff for days.
I don't know, 6 miles away probably.
According to the old Farmer's Almanac.
Okay, I'll go with this one. What's the remedy?
A pint of milk, so 16 ounces of milk.
Wow, okay.
4 ounces of raw sugar.
Okay.
And 2 ounces of ground pepper.
All right.
Put that in a saucepan, simmer for about 10 minutes, and pour into a shallow dish. Flies will be drawn to the mixture like flies are drawn to things.
Other stuff.
So,
really?
Yeah. I'm also looking on Amazon at some of these homemade or these products that you can buy.
You could put that on toast and it would be good.
It probably would.
Yeah.
A little schmear. So you can buy stuff at the store too, but I'm more of a fan of homemade things.
Issues, and this I don't know if this is 'tis the year or what, but yeah, it's been a little bit more than normal, and for no apparent reason other than the calendar page changed, and all of a sudden there they were, knocking on the door. We hadn't had that issue for most of the summer. Usually, late summer in the evenings, you start getting those fruit flies. Well, man, they just came out of nowhere, and they were thick.
Yeah, so don't feel bad if you've got them in your house. There's a lot of people that have them right now, and so just maintain some diligence on cleaning. Watch for any kind of standing water. I don't know, maybe some gunko got down the sides of something. You could spray with a little bleach water mix. So that's what's going on there.
Okay.
We'll be back with some more stories from around the Northwest right after this.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Say if you're looking to spice things up a bit, check out the Robin Hood Village Resort. Nestled along the quiet waters of Union, the Robin Hood Village Resort offers quaint cabins, fine dining, and a traditional pub setting. This ultimate staycation is also the ultimate date night with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday nights. The Robin Hood Village Resort. Check them out online, robinhoodvillageresort.com.
At a time when fun nights out can be really expensive, Lucky Eagle Casino invites you to laugh a lot for just a little, because Saturday, October 17th, they're having their own comedy festival with 1 million laughs for just $15. Catch 5 of the funniest guys in the Northwest for an evening of hilarity. October 17th, with tickets starting at just $15 for Players Club members. Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel, I-5 exit 88, Rochester, Washington, and LuckyEagle.com, where you belong.
This is Brian with the LaFlame Group at Eagle Home Mortgage, and we're here to present your real estate resource Mondays at 8:10 on Daybreak. Mortgage and real estate information you need to know before you make a decision to buy, sell, or invest.
Real Estate Resource with Brian LaFlame from Eagle Home Mortgage. Mondays at 8:10 on Daybreak with Jeff and Dale. Learn how to make sense of the local home buying process.
Join me on Mondays as I talk with local professionals who help you every step of the way in your home purchasing process.
Hi, this is Jackie McAlevey from Splash, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right, good morning to you. 7:24 here at KMAS.
If you're inviting Jeff over to serve, be forewarned. You may remember the lawsuit, the scalded coffee lap thing.
Yeah.
Just good at pouring coffee right everywhere but your cup.
Or Dale a cup here, and we got some guests in the station having a meeting, and so I gave Dale a little coffee fill up, and then I went into there and Poor. This could be my last day on the air because I spilled hot coffee on the
It's your last day serving. I know that.
Chief.
Yeah, I'm the police chief. Nice. Good job.
I think he's coming in after they're done with their meeting to just have a chat with us. So we've got a couple of minutes before Mary Lynn Foster has the latest in local news. So any newest headlines from the AP here, Dale?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was embroiled in the topic of why, oh, why is Russell Wilson taking so many sacks?
Oh, jeez.
And we'll get to that. 5 thoughts on why he's taking so many sacks. So that's the headlines that I'm entrenched in. I know there's probably other things that I should probably be looking at.
There's not much additional news in the third news minute. More from Paul Allen, who's announcing more grants for infrastructure preparedness for future health crises in West Africa after that big Ebola outbreak in 2014. So that's one of the big ones. Aberdeen's having a couple of meetings, and large crowds are expected today at a public hearing on 2 oil terminals proposed at the Port of Grays Harbor in Hoquiam. 2 companies there want to expand their existing facilities to allow crude oil by train from the Bakken region of North Dakota and Montana. The oil would then be transported by tankers or barges to refineries in the Puget Sound and Northern California.
We mentioned the big crash that happened on I-5 Monday afternoon as people were heading northbound to the game.
Yes.
I mean, there was a big traffic event right near Federal Way on I-5. Unfortunately, we have to report the 19-year-old driver involved in that crash that closed I-5 has died. Misael Rosa Rosario died at a Seattle hospital Tuesday night. The incident blocked north lanes for nearly 3 hours, heading up just as the traffic was starting to build for the Seahawks game, and plus your normal afternoon commuter traffic. It was a pretty tough sledding there for a lot of folks. I believe that's the only fatality from that. There were 7 cars involved in that pileup.
Wow.
So it was pretty serious. It was very serious, and that's an unfortunate outcome there.
726 at KMAS and online at KMAS.com. And thank you so much. Lots of opportunities and options for you to get your morning started. And we do appreciate you hanging out with us. Makes the days go by a little quicker. Let's see. Moving on to the website, KMAS.com, Dale, we got some great comments that are happening regarding some of the big stories that we've been covering here, including the debates that we had the other morning on the City of Finance and Accounting. Mike Olson, his challenger, Kathy McDowell. Great conversation with them. This upcoming Tuesday, we'll do it again, though with Mayor Gary Krantz and Marilyn Vogler, who is his challenger this time around. We'll be getting the ballots. So that night then also is the first Democratic debate nationally. We'll have it on the radio. It starts at 6 from the Wynn Casino in Vegas.
Yes.
So that'll be good. It's not going to be the marathon broadcast at the Republican debate. There's
not nearly as many.
Many
4
less
people going to be there.
So it's just going to be probably a 2-hour deal, I'd imagine. 6 in the evening, Tuesday night.
Yep.
Then moving ahead in the calendar to the 20th of October, we invite you all to the Mason Transit Authority's Transit Community Center for a public forum and gathering of the candidates, which include the mayor race, the Shelton Finance race, the port race, and all 4 of the school board races.
Yes.
And I think for the most part, we are batting about 90%.
Yeah, all but 2 candidates are going to be able to make it that evening. So that is very exciting. Good news. Should be a fun evening and a great evening for folks to tune in or come on out and watch the forum with us at the new Community Transit Center, or the Transit Community Center, I guess, put them in the right order. This is a significant date in history, the 8th day of October. Don Larson, the only perfect game in a World Series. He shut out the Brooklyn Dodgers. He pitched for the New York Yankees.
Wow. It
was the Brooklyn-New York series. It was 1956, and to this day still. So nearly 70 years, 69 years ago today, the perfect game. Wow. Or 59 years ago today, the perfect game.
In 2001, the number one radio voice in America. Boy, I can't believe I just said that.
No, I can't either.
When I was a kid, I used to watch him. We'd go down to California, to beautiful Twain Harte, California, visit my grandparents, and during the summer. And I remember specifically watching this television show as a youth and going, I can kind of get behind this. Rush Limbaugh. 2001, he announced to his listeners today that he was totally deaf in his left ear and now only partial hearing in his right. You can see it in the clips. He's got the cochlear implant there. And it only happened within 3 months.
What happened?
I don't know. It just happened. But he went deaf very quickly.
Yeah.
2001. Rush. He hasn't made any crazy statements lately.
Not that I'm aware of.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Mason County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Officer Cindy Brewer has been elected to serve on the board of the National Animal Control Association for the next 2 years. Recently elected by her peers, Officer Brewer's responsibilities will include serving on committees, writing magazine articles, as well as educating and mentoring individuals working in the field of animal control. Brewer says that in addition to getting to share her experience and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States, being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goins, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a 3 commission, it's lopsided.
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with 2 people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by concerned citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
This is Washington State football.
It's going to be an exciting ride.
Has room to the 20 as he breaks through the 10. Dives through the pylon. Touchdown, Washington State.
Washington State, Oregon.
Has time. Throws it. Center of the end zone. Craycraft. Caught. Touchdown.
Listen this Saturday. Kickoff is at 3. Our coverage begins at 1 on the Washington State IMG Sports Network.
Cougs, Dogs.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3, and streaming audio and video this morning, KMAS.com. Also, we wanted to remind you that you heard it, the Cougs and the Ducks this Saturday. We have the coverage for you from before the beginning all the way to the end. How about that? We're even before the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Before the beginning. Sounds biblical. 11 a.m. we begin coverage, 1 o'clock kick from Eugene. We've got it all here for you on the IMG network. Washington Huskies, meanwhile, will take on Southern Cal in Los Angeles tonight, national game in the Coliseum. And so there you go. It's the Trojans coach, Steve Sarkisian, who used to be the Huskies coach, but not anymore. So Chris Peterson's going to try to put the whooping on the Trojans in Los Angeles. A lot of us will be watching and rooting for the Huskies this evening for that. And Oregon State getting ready to take on Arizona in the desert this weekend. And also, as we mentioned, the Cougs and the Ducks are going to be queuing it up in Eugene this Saturday. The premier Pac-12 game of the weekend, though, it has to be the Cal Golden Bears, now 5-0 on the season, against the 5-0, highly touted Utah Utes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They are a formidable team. So both of them undefeated, the last two undefeated teams in the Pac-12. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. This Saturday should be a good one to watch. That's sports. And Jeff Slakey, you have a weather forecast for us? No? Yes.
I do. Just some clouds now. And the high today, about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. We're looking at near 69 in cloudy conditions, 63 for your Friday with rain. And that rain is likely to start, about 10 or so tomorrow morning. Saturday, we'll see more rain, 61 and 3/4 of an inch rain likely. Sunday, we could dry out. It's 51 right now.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the artesian waters of South Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Jason Dose in with us about an hour from now with our Focus on Shelton, brought to you by our Community Credit Union. Look forward to that. Robert Cool Bell, Cool and the Gang, 65 today. Steve Perry, no, not Journey. Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Oh, you got me.
52.
Steve Perry. Huh.
I had you going there, huh?
You did.
Yeah. Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee.
Hi. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Bloody knife. 75.
Story behind Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile Dundee was a real guy.
Yes, he was.
And he went on a highly drug-fueled bender in the Australian outback and caused a little kerfuffle with the Australian police.
The real one?
Yeah.
Recently?
Well, no, but they had
that was the inspiration for
Crocodile Dundee.
Okay, all right.
I saw that on the internet the other day.
All right. Well, I like those Crocodile Dundee movies. They were cute.
Yes.
I enjoyed those. Chevy Chase, Saturday Night Live alumni, and those fantastic vacation movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, they're so funny. And as of late, was he the principal in those? In the community college community comedy?
No, he was just a student
or a teacher. A student?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, Chevy Chase is 72 today. Goosebumps author R.L. Stine.
I never read any Goosebumps.
I think I've read a couple to the kids.
I might it may have been just in that time before and after, where I didn't really get into them.
R.L. Stine, 72. Sigourney Weaver, actress. Ghostbusters, Avatar, lots of good movies. Alien. 66 today. Daryl Hammond, another SNL alum. 60. Stephanie Zimbalist, and I'm thinking she has to be Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.'s daughter. Who else is named Zimbalist? Right? I'm just guessing there. Remington Steele is her most famous TV role. She's having her birthday today. Emily Proctor, isn't she the cute little blonde on CSI Miami? Which is that even in? It's not even in syndication anymore, right?
Are any of those shows on? I saw that
yeah, they're on still. You can catch them on some of the channels.
I saw that they had apparently not liked the direction of CSI Cyber, and they brought in Ted Danson.
Yeah.
And so now, instead of it being internet focused, it seems like, oh, hey, here's a dead body who was on the internet. So
it's everybody.
They've gone back to the standard CSI.
Yeah.
That Patricia Arquette, I don't know about that show. Then him, and then James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
Dawson.
Yeah.
And then wasn't Little Bow Wow. No, it is Little Bow Wow. He's the guy on there. And then there's another guy.
Here, this one will date everybody. The little dude on 2.5 Men. Angus T. Jones is his name. Angus is 22 today. He probably should really go in the Army instead of just pretend like he was in the Army. And your original Kung Fu, and famous in the Kill Bill films, and had a bizarre end, but he passed in 2009. This is the birth date of David Carradine. Died alone, by the way.
He did. In a hotel room. From his hiding place in the bushes along the highway, Rodney William Ansel, 44, ambushed and killed Sergeant Glenn Huiston. Another officer returned fire, killing the guy 30 miles south of the Northern Territory capital of Darwin. His barefoot body found with 2 high-powered rifles. Officers have spent the previous 12 hours searching for a man who had attacked a nearby house. This man became known as Rodney Ansel, as I mentioned. He was the inspiration for Paul Hogan, actually, to write Crocodile Dundee and star as Crocodile Dundee.
Really? What a backstory.
Local hero in 1977 after being swept out to sea and landing on a small island with nothing but wallabies and cattle to sustain him for 2 months. Only a visit by an Aboriginal tribe saved him. His exploits were celebrated in a book and documentary film. Unfortunately, a tragic ending to this story, but that's how we got Crocodile Dundee.
I'll be darned. It was romanticized a bit on the on the film version.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for the backstory.
Well,
backdraft is a fire term,
and a great movie in its own right.
It certainly is. All right. Where do we go from here? 7:42.
Sure.
And it is a Thursday morning. We do have Focus on Shelton coming up a little later on. And we're a little light on guests today, taking a breather after the parade of guests last week. Oyster Festers.
Yes.
Goose. All kinds of people were here last week. My goodness gracious. Today, you know what I'm a little curious about the volunteer fair that happened yesterday morning. But a week from yesterday will be the hiring event. Want people to be tuned in for that event. That is going to be big.
Yeah.
And an opportunity for not only you, if you're searching for work, to maybe get some good contacts, but if you're looking for good employees, you might want to set up camp there for this thing. And I don't know if it's sold out or maxed out or what the situation is, but you could get a hold of the folks from EDC. That's a good start right there. Or even your... now, I don't know what the correct term is anymore for the unemployment office.
It's not
Work Source? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, I think.
And then there's another front right next door to Work Source that is specifically designed for this transitional period for the mill workers. So my apologies. The names escape me right now. So many new terms to keep track of. They had a whole head full of old terms which never was correct. It never was an unemployment office. It was always an employment office, but we always just called it the unemployment office.
Yeah.
Because you were unemployed when you walked in. More than once. All right.
7:44 here at KMAS. It's on the heels of one that we had a couple months ago, and I think it was so fast, quickly put together after the announcements. There was a lot of uninterested parties. Shock. People were still reeling from the announcement that their jobs, many for decades, now gone. I mean, so now all of a sudden, you want me to what? My last resume was a handshake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how a lot of these jobs were.
Not even that.
I've never even done a resume. And now you want me to get dressed up, put myself in good spirits.
Some of those jobs were somebody's dad telling them, well, you graduated last night. Congratulations. I got you. You're pulling green chain on Monday morning.
Yeah. That's about it.
And then boom, you were in the mill and away you go.
You never have known anything different.
Yeah.
And why would you ever, in the heyday, okay, maybe now that the stuff started to slow down a little, but still people don't think about updating resumes or going, boy, I wonder how my time on the green line could transfer into a job in the 21st century. I
wonder if my social marketing skills will come in handy.
So it was pretty raw right out the gate, but still, it was a good turnout then, and I am expecting a major turnout.
Major turnout
this upcoming week
on the 14th. So keep that in mind. It is 7:45. It is Thursday. Daybreak with Jeff and Dale. We are delighted to have you along with us. We'll be right back. Have some good stories to share with you. Some Northwest headlines as well here around the South Sound. We're all about it on Daybreak on Newsradio. KMAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6, and they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com. Green Diamond Resource Company has been on the landscape for over 120 years here in Mason County, growing and nurturing our working forests. These forests provide the best of all worlds: clean air and water, protection for fish and wildlife, areas for hunting, fishing, and other recreation, all while growing essential wood products from lumber to paper to renewable energy. At Green Diamond, stewardship is one of our core values and our business. We're proud of our role in keeping Mason County and Washington green.
Weekend Warrior Specials at Napa. This weekend, head to your participating Napa Auto Parts store and save on Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $5.99 a quart. Valvoline conventional motor oil for only $3.69 a quart. And a 15-ounce can of Gunk Original Engine Degreaser for just $2.99. Then, get a mail-in rebate for the entire sale price. That's just cool. Get ready for fall, too, with a fresh gallon of Napa Extended Life Antifreeze and Coolant, just $9.99. From taking care of my lawn tractor to my pickup truck, ATV, and boat, my Napa Auto Parts store is the only stop I need to make this weekend. Get your Napa Weekend Warrior Specials at this participating Napa Auto Parts store.
Napa Auto Parts in Belfair and Shelton. Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Like us on Facebook and get our local news right on your news feed. Facebook.com/1030KMAS.
Good morning, this is Under Sheriff Jim Barrett, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
Thanks, Jim. And you can hear Jim's interview with us on Tuesday on KMAS.com under the Daybreak tab.
But this is Thursday.
But with the magic of recording, it's available now forever. All right. Three stories to you can choose. 10-year anniversary of something, a passing of a major Disney star, and the resurfacing of an old Hollywood actor. You got 3 there. We could do them all.
Okay. I would. My first one that I want to hear about is the passing of a Disney star.
Okay. Kevin Corcoran has passed.
Okay.
66. He played Arliss, the youngest son in Old Yeller.
Oh, my goodness.
Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank, colorectal cancer.
Okay.
He also was in The Shaggy Dog.
Yeah.
He was the young boy in Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh, man.
And Pollyanna.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I do, too.
I watched all those.
I was actually looking over, we have a large collection of Disney movies, and I was trying to figure out what would be a good one to watch with Kaiser. And these Shaggy Dogs, Swiss Family Robinsons are kind of what I was leaning towards. But Kevin Corcoran, the youngest kid Arliss from Old Yeller, he passed 66.
All right, 10-year anniversary of?
Wow.
This is a little shocking.
Twilight fans.
Yeah.
I don't know. You still may be on Team Edward or Team Jacob.
Might still be heading for Forks.
You
will
will have
find
to
out where it is.
Rename your allegiances, thanks to nearly 400 pages of bonus content released Tuesday from Twilight author Stephanie Meyer in order of the popular book series' 10th anniversary.
How about that? What now, Team Edward and Team Jacob?
Yeah, so Bella, who was the female character lead there, she was sent out to Forks to live with her dad, who was the police guy, and had a penchant for Rainier beer. And
was Bella short for Isabella?
Yeah.
Because my grandniece is named Bella. Isabella.
Isabella?
Yeah.
It's a nice name.
Yeah, Bella. They call her Bella.
So she had to choose between the vampire Edward and the werewolf Jacob. This was the big decision.
Edward or Jacob, yeah. The what now? What was the Edward? He
was the vampire.
Vampire, and the other one was
Jacob
a werewolf.
was the werewolf.
So you had to choose between which one you wanted to have allegiance to.
Yeah.
2 factors there, 2 factions.
So there's a new deal out here, another 400 pages, Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined.
Did she kiss both of those guys?
Yes. Yes. The gender roles of the series' main characters are reversed in this flip around. Edward is Edith and Jacob is Julie.
Edith! Ow, Archie! What?
Wanted to do something fun for the 10th anniversary, and pretty cool. So
yeah, that is.
Beau is the male equivalent for Bella Swan, made famous by Kristen Stewart on the big screen. So it's just kind of the same
Kristen
story.
Stewart was Bella.
Yeah. And kind of
I
the
remember
same
Kristen
deal.
Stewart being in there. Yeah.
Only the gender roles were
I don't know much
flip-flopped.
about this whole series.
You don't have to know anything about it, except for
Twilight.
it was huge for the city of Forks and continues to pay
to
dividends.
this day, and their FM station there in Forks is actually called Twilight in the frequency.
Yeah.
That's the station is, so kind of cool.
So that's what's going on
And
there.
the AM is still running Forks basketball games.
And then,
so just in case you're wondering,
well, I do wonder.
I think
Art Bell's on that channel.
Huh?
I think Art Bell's on that station.
Art Bell, he should be.
One of
He's not.
the very few stations.
What if a station's called Twilight and he's not on it? There's something wrong with their marketing.
Yeah, they need to get a new PD.
Yeah.
All right, finally.
Yes, sir.
Don't count on great veteran actor who we haven't seen much from since about 97 to make a cameo reprising his role in the new remake of Ghostbusters. I'm talking about Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, who I asked you about here about a week ago or so. I was wondering, what became of Rick Moranis? Funny guy. I loved him in movies.
Yeah.
Funny character.
He was Louis Tully, the accountant in Ghostbusters, and he's not going to be on the film.
Just saying his name.
Everybody else, it seems, will be. Burl Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Sigourney Weaver.
Why?
Why are they in it, or why is he not?
Why is he not?
Well, he hopes it's terrific, he tells the reporter of Hollywood, but it just makes no sense to me. Why would I do just one day of shooting on something I did 30 years ago? He has been on an extended hiatus. His wife passed in 97.
Wow.
So he's focused on raising their 2 kids, and he's been very picky about the project he chooses to work on. And he says picky has worked. You know, he was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and that series,
The Flintstones, he was Barney.
Yeah, he was Barney, and Little Shop of Horrors, he played the main, and then Strange Brew, of course.
So now, being picky, Strange Brew, and...
Well, he was picky after all those movies.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of time, I think, behind the scenes as a producer. Very minimal in front of camera time.
Yeah, you just don't see him much anymore. What a character actor. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise was very popular as well.
He was in
the first
Spaceballs.
one was the best.
He was in Spaceballs, remember that?
Yes, that's right. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, so...
And then Daniel Craig.
What's he doing?
He said, I'd rather slash my wrists than play James Bond again. Apparently, kind of a grueling shoot when you're a Bond agent, 007. So he's had his fill. In an interview with Time Out London, the British actor strongly implies he'll relinquish his role following the latest one, the new one called Spectre, which is coming out soon. Isn't it?
Yeah, this November 6th.
Could he imagine starring in another one? He says, now I'd rather break this glass and slash my wrists. No, not at the moment, not at all. That's fine. I'm over it at the moment. We're done. All I want to do is move on. To emphasize the point, he later stated, if I did another Bond movie, it would only be for the money.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Look, I don't give a... Good luck to them.
Huh.
He doesn't care who replaces him. All I care about is that if I stop doing these things, we've left it in a good place and people pick it up and make it better. Make it better. That's all. He has some advice, though, for somebody like yourself, Jeff, who might be thinking about getting a chance to become the next James Bond.
Thank you for that.
Firstly, it's your decision. Don't listen to anybody else, like your broadcast partner. Well, do listen to everybody, but you have to make the choice at the end of the day. It's your bed to lie on.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, when you're in bed, you shouldn't be lying.
That's an interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I wonder how much of this is him being just done with the Bond franchise, or if it's him being done with the grueling advertising schedule.
Well, I just think he's burned out. I think the shooting of the movie physically, emotionally, and mentally beyond what we could imagine. I know physically they really put those guys through the paces now. It's not like the old James Bonds who were just dapper and they didn't even have to be Roger Moore and those. They weren't in very good shape.
Well, the cars weren't even on real roads back then.
No. Now they got to do these stunts, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure. It's multi-millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. And
he's got to be, that's true.
And he's made enough money for the next 5 generations of the Craig family.
He is, he's not only like one of the most recognizable faces for a representative of London.
Yeah.
He's now the face of James Bond. He's like the face of Heineken. I mean, he's the face of all of these things.
You know, Sean Connery has kind of got a little bit of a bitterness toward his time as James Bond too, because now he'll be referenced as James Bond. Daniel Craig will for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Maybe kind of use ya and lose ya.
Resentful. It's bigger than the actor. That's what it is.
Yeah. You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Will your indoor pets be comfortable in a cool house this winter? A few things to consider are next from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-940-9575.
I used to be plagued by pot belly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Think you might be bloated? Call now for a free trial of New Biotics and see how much flatter it makes your belly. You might be surprised, but hurry, call now for details while these free trials last. 1-800-940-9575. That's 1-800-940-9575. 1-800-940-9575.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, October 8th, the 281st day of the year. Pop singer Bruno Mars and actor Matt Damon share a birthday, and Yankee Don Larson pitched the only perfect game in World Series history on this day in 1956. Many of us try to save energy by lowering thermostats when the house is unoccupied. But what if you have pets in the home? Will it be too cold for their comfort? Cats generally prefer it warmer, usually above 70 degrees. If they'll be in a cool home, try to provide an area with sun exposure where they can warm themselves. Dogs are comfortable in colder environments, but it varies among breeds and what they become used to. If keeping the thermostat turned up is not an option, look into heated bedding products as an alternative. And that is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more at almanac.com.
Your home for Shelton High Climber football is 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 102.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. On the hot seat at a congressional hearing, Volkswagen's top U.S. executive Michael Horn apologized for the emissions test cheating software installed in millions of diesel vehicles, but he says he only found out about it recently.
While I was told about the EPA process, I was not then told, nor did I have any reason to suspect or to believe that our vehicles included such a device.
Some lawmakers are calling for Volkswagen to compensate owners. The suffering won't end soon in South Carolina. After 2 days of dry weather, residents are just beginning the cleanup from epic flooding in the central part of the state, and 4 swollen rivers are bringing the misery eastward. ABC's Alex Perez is there.
Authorities here keeping their eyes on about 62 dams that are possibly ready to burst. There are 14 other dams in South Carolina that have failed already. And so authorities, even though the rain has stopped here, authorities are very concerned about what could happen because of the swollen rivers and these dams that could possibly fail.
A Florida judge is under fire for harsh treatment of a domestic violence victim. ABC's Lindsay Davis says the judge sentenced the woman to 3 days in jail for not showing up at her husband's trial.
Her July contempt of court hearing held when she failed to show up for the trial of her alleged abuser, her own husband. But an unsympathetic judge shows no mercy.
Violating a court order did not do anything for you. I hereby find you in contempt of court. I sentence you to 3 days in the county jail.
The judge's office telling ABC News they can't comment on any case that could be subject to future appeal.
A Connecticut schoolgirl jumped out of a moving car to escape the driver who she says kidnapped her. The leap of faith was caught on a surveillance camera, as was a clear image of the car, which is now being sought. Russian author Svetlana Alexievich has won the Nobel Prize in Literature for works that the Swedish Academy says map the soul of the Soviet and post-Soviet people. The Nobel Peace Prize winner will be announced tomorrow morning. Many are predicting it'll be Pope Francis. This is ABC News.
Where do more than 2 million people go each day to do their best work? They go to Regis. Regis has beautifully designed tech-powered offices and co-working spaces with full admin support. Let Regis manage the details for you so you can focus on your business. Call Regis at 1-800-OFFICES to get up and running fast, without the hassle. Join the 2 million people who have found a better way to work. And right now, get a free office or meeting room for a day when you call 1-800-OFFICES. Regis, here to help you grow.
Blanchard & Company would like to offer their listeners 10 1921 silver Morgan dollars for only $26 each, including free shipping when you pay with a credit card. Silver Morgan dollars are America's most popular coin, and now you can own 10 historic 1921 silver Morgan dollars for only $26 each. Call Blanchard now to own your piece of history. 800-210-1225. Supplies are limited, so call now. 800-210-1225.
Westboro Baptist Church, known for demonstrations at the funerals of fallen service personnel, has set its sights on a new target, the weatherman. ABC's Jim Ryan explains.
Wherever Westboro Baptist Church members go, crowds and controversy follow. Now the group plans to protest the National Weather Center in suburban Oklahoma City, tweeting, "Only by God's mercy and power do you gather intelligence on his weather."
When I heard they were coming to Norman, I actually tweeted them and invited them to stop by here so that we could say hello briefly.
Liquor store owner Brian Kerr says he received no response. As for the Weather Service protest,
as crazy as they've been in the past, I believe they're getting a little crazier with every passing day.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Remember when Steve-O climbed to the top of a crane in Hollywood to protest the way killer whales are treated at SeaWorld, triggering the calling of dozens of emergency responders trying to rescue him? Well, now he'll have to pay the price for that. He's been sentenced to 30 days in jail and ordered to pay the cost of the response. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Mason County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Officer Cindy Brewer has been elected to serve on the board of the National Animal Care and Control Association for the next 2 years. Recently elected by her peers, Officer Brewer's responsibilities will include serving on committees, writing magazine articles, as well as educating and mentoring individuals working in the field of animal control. Brewer says that in addition to getting to share her experience and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States, being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goines, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a 3 commission, it's lopsided.
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with 2 people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by concerned citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays from 5 to 8, Sundays from 6 to 9.
Because of the fact there's been a revolution in paleontology with regards to how we view the dinosaurs. When I was a kid, we learned the dinosaurs were cold-blooded, lumbering creatures, kind of dim-witted. They didn't nurture their young, and that's why they went extinct. They were simply too stupid. Well, now we realize that we were pretty much wrong in how we view dinosaurs.
On KMAS.
Imagine yourself driving down the peaceful stretch of road, the wind rushing past your open window, the cares of the world behind you because you are on vacation. Suddenly, don't let this ruin your vacation. Head into Whitney Chevrolet, where we can either inspect your current vehicle or get you into something more reliable. Right now, we have the best selection in over 5 years. Check out our inventory at whitneychev.com, then come in and see us.
It's worth the drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
For a second straight night, the road team takes the wild card game. I'm ABC's Dave Packer reporting on sports. The Cubs are headed to St. Louis.
Swing and a liner, caught out at second, and that's the ball game. And the Cubs have won it.
John Shambi on ESPN as the Cubs beat Pittsburgh 4-0 in the NL wildcard game. Jake Arrieta with a complete game shutout Arrieta owns a .7 ERA since the All-Star break after Wednesday's gem. So how's he done it?
Just determination and, committed to trying to be as good as I possibly can, for these guys.
Arrieta did hit 2 batters, though, and benches later cleared in the 7th inning. Pirate skipper Clint Hurtle on what led to the brawl.
You got a pitcher that's dotting everything up, throwing 4 pitches for strikes, and Cervelli gets pitched hot up top. So I don't think anybody was a fan of that.
The Cubs play St. Louis in Game 1 of the NLDS Friday. An NFL injury update. Colts quarterback Andrew Luck and quarter Vontae Davis are both questionable for Thursday Night Football. Houston's Nate Washington and Cecil Shorts are out. This is ABC Sports. Bucks dropped as the NHL opened its season Wednesday. The defending Stanley Cup champ Blackhawks hosted the Rangers, but New York spoiled Chicago's banner night.
Racing after it is Kreider. Gets to it. Moves in. Feeds Hayes, who backhands it wide. Puck comes in front. Stepan scores. He knocks it into the empty net. And the Rangers take a 3-1 lead.
Kenny Albert on ESPN New York. The Rangers took Game 1, 3-2. The Canadiens' Max Pacioretty put on a show in Toronto.
Subban lifts it down the ice, and Pacioretty's going to put this away into the empty net. He scores. Pacioretty with his second. Habs lead it 3-1.
TSN Radio 690 on the call. Montreal would win by that score. Another Canadian rivalry. Canucks beat the Flames 5-1. And on the West Coast, the LA Kings struck first, but the Sharks bit.
Vlasic shoots, tip, score! Tomas Hertl in front of the net. Marc-Edouard Vlasic shooting it from the point, and the Sharks have a power play goal.
Dan Rusanowski on the Sharks Radio Network. San Jose won 5-1. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3, and streaming audio and video this morning, KMAS.com. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thursday night, NFL primetime football right here on this very radio station. We begin our coverage at 5, kickoff at 5:30. Am I close? Yep. All right. The Texans from Houston. Used to be the Oilers, but now they're the Texans. Entertaining the Colts of Indy. All eyes on the Colts' first offensive huddle. Latest report has Matt Hasselbeck starting in place of Andrew Luck. Still has that lingering shoulder injury. May not be able to go. And word was it, too, that Hasselbeck, he's 40 years old. He's a little sore around the edges from last week's win. And he has to play again tonight. And I don't know if he's feeling too good about that or not. No comment from the Hasselbeck clan. So there's that going on. Also, the Washington Huskies in Los Angeles to battle Southern Cal Trojans tonight, nationally televised game. And Jim Mora, UCLA coach, who has bemoaned the academic effects of Thursday night games. But Steve Sarkisian says, he didn't care. Roll it out there. Rub some dirt on it. You'll be okay. Midterms being taken today.
It's
game
already
day.
midterms?
Midterms of the first semester. Would that be right? Yeah. They must have started like in August.
They must have.
All right. So there's that going on. And then tomorrow night, we've got Friday Night Lights for you. And Saturday, we've got Cougar football down in Eugene, taking on the Oregon Ducks, who have fallen from the ranks of being mighty to just Ducks.
Yeah.
All right. Now, 5 thoughts from Shell Capadia, ESPN.
Okay.
ESPN writer. Just real quick. Russell Wilson's been sacked 11% of his dropbacks. Yes, that is the worst percentage in the NFL. He was taken down, if you were counting, 6 times against Detroit last week. He tried to scramble, but, sometimes it was his own fault. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes 4 out of the 6 times it was probably the offensive line's fault. But whatever the case, he got sacked way too many times. Bottom line is the offensive line's not playing very well, but there were other factors at work too. Slow developing plays, missed assignments on blocking, that sort of thing. So it can be corrected, but they have to hurry up. They're playing the 4-0 Cincinnati Bengals this week. Yikes. All right. Run blocking is on the line, but the running of our running game is okay. Thomas Rawls, just 1 yard before contact. That means we didn't get very many openings for him to run through. Okay. But overall, Seattle's run game offense ain't bad. Defense has been awesome. Bobby Wagner and Cam Chancellor both had great games. last week. Hope they can keep that going. And overall, Wilson's playing at a high level. He is one of 5 QBs who's completed more than 70% of his passes and still is averaging about 8 yards per attempt through his first 4 weeks. So that's okay. And then he gets sacked a lot, but he scrambles a lot. So that kind of balances it out. And then Chris Richard, the new defensive coordinator, really doing a nice job with his blitz calls. Stafford was 4 for 10 for 36 yards against 5 or more rushers. So there's that going on. Something to think of this Sunday when we take on Cincinnati at 10 a.m. our time.
Yeah. Wow.
It's our time. So this is our time. That's what the coach is going to say. And then they'll look at each other and go, what's he mean?
Our time down here. Our time.
It's our time in Cincinnati.
Their time up there. It's from the Goonies. You ever seen that movie?
Yes. I don't remember that.
They're in the well, and they're saying, we could get out of the well. We could go home. Little Frodo.
Oh.
It's our time. Our time down here. The people who own that house have shut it down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you used to be able to go down. Because so many people, because I'm 35 or something, 36?
Yeah, you're something like that.
And that is the age.
Yeah.
So now all these 30-somethings are driving to Astoria to get a picture doing the
Mecca.
truffle shuffle. Yeah, to Mecca at the Goonies house.
I'll be
So the people are saying, listen, we appreciated it.
We're out of tea.
We are out of tea.
We can't serve all you people anymore.
We're out of patience. We're out of tea. We're out of time.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what they shut it down. I mean, you can drive by, but you can't get out.
Yeah, Goonies.
Goonies. Love that movie. 52 right now, clear skies, and looks like 69 should be the high today. We'll see some rain tomorrow, kind of start around 10 o'clock and then be off and on throughout the day. For Friday night football, misty, I would imagine.
Oh, pink out, please.
Yes.
Friday. Pink out.
Yes, for sure. That's an important one. 61 on Saturday.
Adapt your home and community to wildfires and keep this.
Who's that wildfire guy?
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line by email or Facebook. Now, from where I-5 takes a sharp left toward Portland, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. 103.3 on your FM dial and AM 1030. We do appreciate you starting your morning with us here at 8:16. How you doing over there?
We're going to take the ball and we're going to win.
Okay.
Famous line from Matt Hasselbeck.
I remember that from the
playoffs.
The coin flip or something?
Yeah. We'll take tails. We'll win. And we
in
won.
Green Bay?
I think it was against Pittsburgh. I think it was Pittsburgh playoff, not the Pittsburgh Super Bowl loss. It was the year before that in the playoffs. No, that couldn't have been right because we couldn't have played him in the playoffs.
I think it was Green Bay. Because he had played in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And he had come back.
It was the overtime coin toss,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Did we lose the Super Bowl in overtime? It might have been a Green Bay overtime deal. I don't know. I can't remember now who. I thought it was.
But I do remember that.
But it was a famous call, and then we did get the ball, and then he promptly threw an interception, pick 6.
Yeah.
Into that deal.
Huh.
So he's on to bigger and better things now. He's 40.
8:17 KMAS, as you said, his brother and his sister-in-law both on TV. Yeah. Elizabeth on Fox and Friends in the morning.
Yeah. Is that his sister or is that his brother's wife?
Brother's wife. Is that what I said?
Yeah, sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And his brother
is a commentator on one of the bajillion sports networks that are out there.
Yeah. I always get confused because I look at him on the ESPN or whatever channel it is, and he looks like Matt, but he also looks like Trent Dilfer, kind of.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer looks like a Hasselbeck.
So
I get him confused all the time.
I get all confused. I'm like, hey, that guy used to play for... But no, you did. Who are you? And don't wear name tags.
No, they should. They should have placards around their neck. I'm talking head number 4.
8:18 here at KMAS and on the web, KMAS.com. We were talking about James Bond earlier, and so I wanted to do a little thinking and looking back on his role directly after his last role as James Bond.
The leading actors.
Yeah.
Okay, because we talked about Roger Moore and Sean Connery, and Daniel Craig is expressing a lot of, bitterness in the post-production stage where he's supposed to be out, promoting the movie, and he's talking about how sick of it, the whole thing he is.
So I almost misspoke before we even got out of the gate. I thought his last Bond film was Diamonds Are Forever in 1971, followed by The Offense in 1973. But no, he was James Bond in Never Say Never Again in 1983.
You're talking about Sean Connery?
Sean Connery is who we're talking about now. After that, he was in The Sword of the Valiant, The Legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Whatever that was.
Then he was in Highlander for a minute.
Yeah, I remember him being in Highlander. I still was thinking of him as James Bond, though, in the Highlander movie. Yeah.
And then what about when he was the great Jim Malone in The Untouchables?
Yes. Great role, and completely distanced himself from any James Bond references.
So that's what you need. You just have to have a role that'll break the mold of what you got.
And if you're a great actor, you overcome it. But still, when you say Sean Connery, I don't think of Highlander or The Untouchables. Yeah. I think James Bond.
I think Entrapment. No, The Hunt for Red October.
Is that what you think?
Just one thing. All I want. Just one thing.
Damn it! You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Weekend Warrior Specials at Napa. This weekend, head to your participating Napa Auto Parts store and save on Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $5.99 a quart. Valvoline conventional motor oil for only $3.69 a quart. And a 15-ounce can of Gunk Original Engine Degreaser for just $2.99. Then, get a mail-in rebate for the entire sale price. That's just cool. Get ready for fall, too, with a fresh gallon of Napa Extended Life Antifreeze and Coolant. Just $9.99. From taking care of my lawn tractor to my pickup truck, ATV, and boat, my Napa Auto Parts store is the only stop I need to make this weekend. Get your Napa Weekend Warrior Specials at this participating Napa Auto Parts store.
Napa Auto Parts in Belfair and Shelton.
Saturday, October 24th is the next free women's health event presented by Mason General Hospital and Family of Clinics from 8 a.m. till noon at the hospital's main entrance. Women of all ages are invited to come during Breast Cancer Awareness Month to a women's health forum that includes free diabetes and blood pressure checks, information on women's health, mini massages, refreshments, and more. There will also be free mammograms for the first 50 qualifying women who are uninsured or underinsured. It's a great time to be a woman. Come out and celebrate.
Mason General Hospital and Family of Clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and Family of Clinics.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Hi, this is Mike Patty, Assistant Chief with Central Mason Fire and EMS, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at 8:23, 52 currently with clear skies, and the temperature today about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. We see any rain tomorrow is when it'll show up, probably about 10 o'clock in the morning in our area, and stick with us, but becoming light by the evening for Friday Night Lights, Central Kitsap. And October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We would like you to join the Shelton High Climber football team and the dance team and the coaches and everybody in wearing pink tomorrow instead of the traditional black and red or blue Fridays.
Or in addition to.
Okay, sure.
How about in addition to? Pink out. You know how all the football players and referees and everybody in the NFL has got some pink on. So that's what we are encouraging everybody to pink out tomorrow for the game and, help salute the fight against breast cancer, which can happen to anybody, male or female. Of course, predominantly it's a female issue, but men have been known to contract breast cancer as well.
8:24 here at KMAS.
Okay, I'm just looking at celebrity headlines, and we don't have to talk about all these. But I guess Jay Leno came back to the Tonight Show. It's been a year, or has it been longer than that Jimmy Fallon has been? I don't know. Anyway, so he came out and did a monologue like he'd always done. And then and ripped Fallon a little bit and did some stuff, talked about Obama and Osama. And did a couple of lines, and that was kind of fun. And then Jimmy Fallon came out and joined him. But he let him do the opening monologue for quite a while. It was like it was the old show again. Now here's what? Oh, okay, Jay Leno, I guess. So there he walks out, everybody cheers, and just like the old days. It was kind of cute. It was kind of a cute deal. Also,
did you hear this Ashley Judd story?
Yeah, no, she made some claims.
Yeah, so there was a movie back, I don't know, in the 90s or whatever called Kiss the Girls. And
yes.
I think Morgan Freeman was in it.
Yes.
About a person holding people hostage or something.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, Ashley Judd was in it.
Yes.
And she is talking in the Variety's Power of Women issue. She, now 47, recalled that she was chased by a famous executive from a rival studio. She wouldn't reveal the name, whom she believed wanted to cast her in a film. She was sexually harassed by one of our industry's most famous, admired / reviled bosses. She was making Kiss the Girls. And
she's a good actress.
Yeah, she's
very
great.
Powerful.
Says she was a declared feminist. Not sure what that has to do with the story. Had completed a minor in what was then called women's studies, now called gender studies. Did not recognize at the time what was happening to me. It took years before I could evaluate the incident and realize there was something incredibly wrong about it. So anyways, here's what happened. She gets a call from this exec. Hey, can you meet me at this hotel? Well, it turns out when the person meant hotel, it meant hotel room. And they says, help me pick out some clothes. No, come on. You know, you can kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
The casting couch of we all hear stories. And she wanted, the exec wanted her to watch him shower was another thing that was going on. And she insists that her story is pretty common. She says she was with a bunch of other actors and the exact same thing had happened to them by the exact same person. Only when they were sitting around to talk about it, did they realize the experiences were identical. Ooh, wow.
Wow, yeah.
That's scary stuff for her.
Yeah.
Looks like she felt as though maybe she was to blame at points, and she beat herself up for a while, part of the process, internalized the shame. So that movie came out, I think, in like 97. So it's been around a long time. But
20
finally,
years. Yeah, goodness gracious. Yeah. Well, you know, and that's really, you know, she, to her credit, she didn't drop the name.
Right.
But it's one of those things that's hard to prove. But why bring all this on yourself for no reason at all? Mm-hmm. Something happened.
Kind of like the
Bill Cosby stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's
By the way, the judge has declined to dismiss the latest lawsuit against Bill Cosby, and I've lost track of the number. 4 more surfaced here in the last week or so. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. And so Bill Cosby, a judge has determined, should face a deposition this week in connection with one of the sex assault cases against him. His lawyers filed a motion to dismiss, but it was denied by a California state judge in Santa Monica. So as a result, the videotape deposition is set for Friday. That's still on. Cosby has to answer to questions on claims from Judy Huth, says the actor and comedian sexually assaulted her at the Playboy Mansion when she was only 15. This was back in the 70s. Judge did order the deposition to be sealed, at least until December. And earlier this week, model Chloe Goins, who has accused Cosby of drugging and abusing her in the bedroom of the same Playboy Mansion in 2008, filed a lawsuit seeking punitive damages. And it's not mentioned in this particular story, but I'm sure I heard sometime in the last week there were 4 other women that have come forward now.
Oh, wow.
And said that they too were drugged and
Yeah.
All right. Who's on the phone with us?
Well, Karen Shade is. It's 8:28.
Yes.
Good morning.
It is Karen Shea. Good morning, y'all.
How you
are
doing?
you? I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing well.
Doing well, thank you.
Can I say I'm glad it's almost the weekend?
Please say it.
Yeah, has this been a long week?
It's
Because we were
been a
all...
very long week, and I'm still working on Saturday, but it's just been a long week.
Yeah.
I just need a sleep-in day.
I know. Yeah, boy, we really look forward to that. We sleep in clear till 6:30, 7 o'clock sometimes now.
There you go. Yeah, I can't sleep in past 7, so there you go. Oh, well.
What's up with Wall Street this morning?
U.S. stocks are slightly lower in early trading before the release of minutes from the Federal Reserve's latest policy meeting. And economic news, initial jobless claims came in lower than expected. Treasuries are mixed, with most maturities lower and the 30-year advancing this morning. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is utilities, while the worst performing sector is healthcare. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 17 points at 16,895. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is down 4 points at 1,991. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is down 40 points at 4,751. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 218 million shares being traded. Advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 4-3 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is down 89 cents to $1,144.64. The spot price of silver is down 38 cents to $15.68. And crude oil prices are up 78 cents to $48.59. In the bond markets, a 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.90%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 2.08%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is down $12.28. Costco is up $2.21. Boeing is down a penny. Starbucks is down 16 cents, and Microsoft is down 20 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You are listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. Mason County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Officer Cindy Brewer has been elected to serve on the board of the National Animal Care and Control Association for the next 2 years. Recently elected by her peers, Officer Brewer's responsibilities will include serving on committees, writing magazine articles, as well as educating and mentoring individuals working in the field of animal control. Brewer says that in addition to getting to share her experience and mentor other animal control officers throughout the United States, being a board member will also benefit the citizens of Mason County, as our office will continue to be up to date and a leader in the animal control field. Brewer has worked in the field of animal control for 16 years, with 15 of those serving with the Mason County Sheriff's Office. The results for revitalizing the historic Shelton downtown area have been published by Steve Goines, Shelton's Community Development Director. He thanked those who took the time to be part of this soon-to-be groundbreaking plan. Green Diamond Resources, the Shelton Mason County Chamber of Commerce, and business members of the community. The link to the final plan can be found on our website, KMAS.com. This week on Daybreak, Jeff and Dale welcome the City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance Mike Olson and his challenger Kathy McDowell for a live debate. One of the questions they tackled was how they feel about adding more people to the various commissions compared to the current 3 in the city, county, and port.
At this point, I'm for just staying with the 3 commission, look into see what a 5 commission would be. I do agree that you have more ideas. So that's something that can be looked at further down the road. Sometimes with a three commission is lopsided?
Win or lose, I will be pursuing by either a people's initiative or a commission initiative to pursue a larger form of government next year. If the council will not do it, the people have the option to do an initiative, and I will be pursuing it. I believe that it's time to go to a larger council because, as my opponent stated, with two people controlling everything, it can get lopsided. And I think that the more people you bring into this council, that you have more creative ideas and a chance for moving forward in different directions.
The debate, which was sponsored by Concerned Citizens Tom and Amy Davis, also included topics on finance and account experience, roles in government, privatization of services, and more. Find a link to listen to the full 30-minute debate by clicking on the 2015 Voters Guide under the News tab at KMAS.com. The next live debate will be between City of Shelton Mayor Gary Krantz and his challenger, Marilyn Vogler, next Tuesday at 8 a.m. on Daybreak. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Life in motion. At Olympia Orthopedic Associates, we treat patients from head to toe. Our specialties include hand, spine, neurosurgery, foot and ankle, sports medicine, occupational medicine, total joint replacement, non-surgical pain management, along with physical therapy, diagnostic imaging, and a state-of-the-art outpatient surgery center to complete the continuum of care. Learn more about how Olympia Orthopedic Associates can get your life in motion at olyortho.com or facebook.com/OlympiaOrtho.
Wilson's going to take it around the far side to 15, to 10, to 5. Touchdown, Seahawks!
The Seahawks head back on the road and face the AFC for the first time this year as the Cincinnati Bengals play host. Hi, this is Steve Rabel. Join Warren Moon and me this Sunday, pregame at 8, kick at 10 a.m. right here on the Seahawks Radio Network.
Seahawks! Marshawn Lynch says, get out of my way! Cam Chancellor comes up and just unloads number 31, cleanest block.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3, and online audio and video around the globe, KMAS.com. All right, good morning and welcome to it. The Huskies taking on Southern Cal in Los Angeles tonight, nationally televised game. Big game for the Huskies as they're trying to get things pointed in the right direction with Chris Peterson. And so he's doing a good job, but they're sputtering a little bit. They make a lot of mistakes. They play good football. They play hard. They're pretty efficient on offense and defense, but then they make a goof. They fumble or they throw an interception, or they could have intercepted a pass and they drop it. Little things like that. So we'll see how the Huskies can do against the old coach, Steve Sarkisian, who now heads up Southern Cal. There's that going on. This Saturday, the Cougars travel to Eugene, take on the Oregon Ducks. It's not the Oregon Ducks of old, though, not the #1 ranked team in the country. They've fallen on a bit of a hard time. They have a little bit of a hard time deciding on who their quarterback should be. So we'll see how that plays out. They go up against the Washington State Cougars, improving defense every week. They're getting better and better, and there's nothing to say about their offense, which is the #1 passing offense and scoring offense in the country. So Cougs, Ducks, Saturday, 11 o'clock, we begin our coverage. 1 o'clock kickoff. Tomorrow night, Friday Night Lights, and Central Kitsap comes to town to take on the Shelton High Climbers. We begin our coverage at 6:45. Kickoff is at 7, and Pink Out tomorrow night at the game. That's sports. Jeff? Jeff Flakey, ladies and gentlemen, over at Weather Central.
I'm trying to think if you're going to need a special pink umbrella or something like that. Not going to be too bad here. 52 right now.
Galoshes.
Pink galoshes perhaps could work, as we're not going to see really any rain today, mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow will be rainy, and about a 1/4 inch of rain is in the forecast now, and we're looking at that to start around 10 and really taper off by game time, so we should be okay. Saturday, another rainy day, 3/4 inch likely. It's 52 right now.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now from Shelton's Media Row, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at 8:38, and time for us to focus on Shelton. Though, Dale, before we get to that, this is kind of some breaking news here from last night on CBS. U.S. Air Force Airman Spencer Stone, that name may start to sound familiar as one of the 3 Americans who helped thwart a terror attack on a European train. Remember
Yes,
him
I do.
a couple weeks ago over the summer?
Yeah.
Was repeatedly stabbed in California last night.
What? Oh, my.
The Air Force has confirmed to CBS News. Air Force says this morning that Stone was being treated for injuries at a hospital in stable condition, and the police and the Air Force are investigating this incident.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I'm not sure where that came from or why that happened, but we'll undoubtedly have news on that for you at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Though now time for us to focus on Shelton, brought to you by our community credit union. And Jason Dose is in studio to talk about an upcoming meeting that we're going to be having.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Jason's just fresh off of his second haircut of the year this year.
That's right. That's more haircuts than I think I had in the previous 5 years.
We all agree. You look very dapper.
So what's the deal here? Why would you decide to do this?
He's a father and he's responsible, Jeff. You should take notes.
It had to do with a bet that I won, I guess.
You
That's
won
the
the
odd
bet?
part of putting it. I'm into soccer. My kids play at a real high level in the club soccer scene. And, I work with the girls. I don't coach anymore. They're beyond my ability, but I do help with the teams.
I think Jason's the mascot for the team.
I am. They call me the team mom, unfortunately.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm proud of that or not.
Bring the oranges and the
No.
snacks
We don't do that
afterwards?
anymore. I'm their biggest fan, I guess is the way of putting it. But anyway, long story short, they won some very difficult tournaments. And, I nonchalantly said, yeah, sure, you can do whatever you want with my hair if you win. Because honestly, all due respect, I didn't expect them to win. They did, far and away.
You have had long hair for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't they choose to bick it?
Oh, didn't you see it when it was first cut?
I must not have.
It was maybe a millimeter long. It was ridiculously short. I looked like Telly Savalas.
Yeah, it was Buzz. I remember seeing you that cut.
But
that was over a year ago, right?
The first time, and then I did it again because now they're honestly playing at the highest level you can play at in Washington State. I mean, there isn't a level higher unless you go to like a regional squad that plays nationally or internationally, whatever you want to call it. Which, by the way, several of our team members, including my own kids, are trying out for this very weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it might even get bigger. We'll see.
Wow.
Anyway, enough about me. I am here to focus on Shelton, although I am talking about 2 Shelton players. So anyway, as everyone knows, or at least I hope they know by this point, Sierra Pacific, Simpson. Now I'm already getting used to calling it Sierra Pacific mill site. Simpson sold their mill site to Sierra Pacific Industries, who is a lumber manufacturing company out of California. They applied a few months ago for environmental review for demolition of most of the standing structures out on the site. We went through that process, received, a good deal of interest for a demolition project, which is good, but issued the SEPA, and they're in the process of getting some permits. You probably heard some jackhammering out there recently. That was part of removal of the existing kilns, and they're going to be going through over the course of the next year or so, demoing out the remainder of the structures. And with the final structures being demolished, it'll be Olympic Panel, who it sounds like will be vacating the site in the June-ish of next year.
Okay.
So as everyone knows, that between Simpson and Olympic Panel, locally we lost 500 plus jobs once Olympic Panel goes out. So that's a big hit to our community. Sierra Pacific, this is what I'm really here for, has applied for their environmental review, not their land use permitting yet, but the environmental review to construct a new sawmill out on the site. It would be what they refer to as a stud mill. So this mill would produce 2x4, 2x6 is my understanding. I think 4x4s as well. Don't quote me on that. But it's not going to be, a big log mill. It's not going to be producing the large dimensional lumber. It's going to be doing the smaller stuff. They're looking at bringing in, I think, a total of 150 to 180 employees. So, it's not necessarily bringing back all of them we lost, but it'll bring back a bunch of them. But, it's an opportunity the way I see it. It's not only for them to, build a new mill, but for the community, because, this is a once in a lifetime situation where we get to kind of reshape our waterfront, as it were. So we're looking for public input, and we have scheduled a meeting on Wednesday, October 14th at the Civic Center from 5:30 to 7. And it's strictly an informational meeting. This isn't a public hearing or anything of that nature. This is, we have a lot of information up on our website, the City of Shelton website. If you get on there, there's all the environmental info we received to date, has site plans, has the environmental checklist, has some information on traffic, on noise, on stormwater, on critical areas that are there. And critical areas are, the streams, wetlands, waterfront type things. And we're going to be there at the meeting. City staff will be with several state agencies and Sierra Pacific representatives to describe the project, walk people through the various permitting that needs to occur between now and Sierra Pacific being able to begin construction. So we're really at the front end of this process. And, I think I speak for the city. We value public input, and we want people to show up. We want to hear what the concerns are with the site. Some of the facts of the matter is the site is zoned industrial. It's been identified in every plan ever written, I think, by the city, county, whoever, as an industrial site. It's one of the few.
Probably from the first week.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, I know there are people in town that are wondering, why can't it just be this nice open space park? There are some rights. This property owner bought a property zoned industrial, used for industrial uses. There is an expectation to use it for industrial uses. And, I'll just say that. But as we redevelop it, we don't want to shut out any other uses.
Right. And they may not need the land area, the land mass that was used before.
Yeah, the whole footprint.
They may not. I mean,
we don't know.
They're going to need a lot of it to build a mill site, I guarantee you. Because the mill site's going to include log storage. They're going to utilize, their plan is to utilize rail much more than Simpson did. So one of the positives you could bring out of this is we're going to see a decrease in truck traffic, which, based on the way our city was laid out back in the days of wagons, the heavy truck traffic is an impact to our downtown, some of our residential areas, and we're working with them to identify ways to mitigate that with reuse. And they're going to be utilizing the Burlington Railroad, not the Mill 5 Railroad, the one you see that went across 7th Street, went across 1st Street. This is the one that runs parallel to the bay. They're going to be utilizing that, they're telling us, for a majority of their outgoing finished lumber. It's going to leave by rail rather than by truck. Where currently, well, not currently, formerly, most of it left by truck. Most of the
product left by truck.
Yeah, you'd see it heading out railroad.
Yeah.
So, there are some positives. Some more, I think, general positives I can cite. Generally getting some jobs back. I think most people would see that as a positive, including myself. Stormwater this is going to be one of the biggest improvements, in my opinion. Stormwater at the site now, let's just say, it was grandfathered. I'll just leave it at that. A lot of grandfathered stormwater design out there. And the new design will be up to date, current stormwater manual that the city will review it to, the state stormwater manual, but then also their industrial permit for discharges at the state level will be up to current standards. So that alone will be a huge improvement. And to me, that's an environmental improvement too. The water quality, especially with the shell fishing that goes on in this area, that's huge. That's
okay. Well, and people can get a lot of questions answered and ask a lot of questions at this public meeting.
Certainly. Yeah. And my information is on the website as well. As people go through the information, I'm more than happy to talk to people. Email me, call me. I'm oftentimes available for a quick chat at the front counter. You come in, you have
kind of shy, a little bit of a shy boy.
I am a little shy. It takes me a while to come out of my shell.
So you go up there and is Jason Dose there? From 3 rows back somewhere in the back of the room.
Like jumps down the stairs.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Yeah.
It's we try to be accessible. It's getting harder though, because we are getting busy, which is a good thing. I'm not knocking that. I like to be busy, but I like to make myself available. We work for the people, so you want to make yourself available to the people. I mean, I work for you, so.
Very good. Okay, well, we'll try to figure out a way to pay you for that one of these days.
I know.
Be awesome. Thank you for the update and the invitation. And one more time for everybody, day and time.
Day and time, Wednesday, October 14th from 5:30 to 7 at the Shelton Civic Center.
Okay.
525 West Coda Street.
All right. Right on the heels of the hiring event earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Is it the same day?
Yeah, same day.
Okay. I didn't put that together. That's at MTA.
Yes. Well, that's not
still stay in the downtown area. Thank you, Jason. It's 8:49 at KMAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Do you need to destroy old financial statements, tax return documents, old checks, other personal information? Our community credit union is having their annual Community Shred event, Saturday, October 17th from noon till 2 at their Mountain View branch. There's no cost for this service, so tell your friends. And while you're at it, support local food banks. Please bring a donation of canned, non-perishable food items with you to the shredding event. Thanks from our community credit union.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hey moms, what happened to that bold, gritty stud you married? These days, he lets your daughter braid his hair. He arranges pillows. He enjoys scented candles. He has officially been debolded. But you can rebold him with Papa Murphy's bold new buffalo chicken pizza featuring Frank's red hot sauce. That'll bring back his inner boldness. But don't worry, he still won't renew his motorcycle license. Home-baked Papa Murphy's large buffalo chicken pizza for just $11. Fresh made, fresh baked. Papa Murphy's, love at 425 degrees.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch Daybreak live. Follow the link on KMAS.com or search KMAS Radio on YouTube.
Hi, this is Jeannie Raywalt from the WSU Extension with the Food Sense Nutrition and Master Gardener programs. And you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
$8:52 KMAS. Have a good one, Jace. Nice talking with him.
The Dozer.
Shelton here. Great meeting coming up on the 14th. All right, so we've got about 8 minutes or so left in the hour, and Tom Hartman's coming up next. Tomorrow we'll have Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody in for a conversation. He was going to come in today after a meeting that he had here, but he had to get back to the office. So we'll
tomorrow for sure.
Talk with him tomorrow.
All right. Big crowds expected today. You talk about ports and waterfronts and industrial and all that. Well, Grace Harbor sort of dealing with that on an ongoing basis as well, as 2 oil terminals are being proposed for the Port of Grace Harbor today. And so a public hearing, and with the public hearing come large crowds of yays and nays. Mostly the crowds are the nays.
Right.
2 companies want to expand existing facilities. Now, they're not building brand new facilities, but they want to expand their existing facilities to bring crude oil by train to the from the Bakken region of North Dakota and Montana to Hoquiam, to the port of Grace Harbor. The oil would then be transported by tankers or barges to refineries throughout Puget Sound and Northern California. So that'll be happening today, and we'll monitor that event perhaps Nick Scott will have something to say about it this afternoon.
It's 8:53 here at KMAS. Thursday night football comes your way, and it sounds like Matt Hasselbeck will be taking the snaps for the Indianapolis Colts as they take on J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans.
Yeah, that will be 2 starts in a row for the 40-year-old. And he says, quit reminding me that I'm 40. So the old Seahawk quarterback, the first Seahawk quarterback to take us to the Super Bowl. And he's got a long storied history here. So, you got to kind of be a sentimentally rooting for Matt to do well tonight. And he's going up against J.J. Watt and that Houston defense. That is a tough defense. So here's what happens when you got a good defense and a lousy offense. The Houston Texans are like 1-3 or 0-4. I don't know which. So I think they're 1-3. Yeah, and Indy's 2-2. And Seattle, by the hair of their chinny chin chin, could be 1-3 right now as well with a good defense. And I think I don't know if I want to really throw us into the lousy offense category, but we're close.
Not yet.
We're leading the league in sacks, given up, and that sort of thing. So something needs to be corrected offensively for Seattle, for them to keep holding on to that dream of a third Super Bowl. And they're not a Super Bowl team today, but they can take a big step forward with a whooping on Cincinnati this Sunday. Big game, really an important game for Seattle. It's an important one for Cincinnati as well, but the pressure's on them. They're undefeated. Here come the defending NFC champs. This is an AFC team that has struggled with playoff caliber teams. And now they've got a good start to the season. They don't want Seattle to spoil their party. But Seattle, I think, has more on the line to find out where they are in the pecking order this Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. And we'll have coverage beginning at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Why? Because the game kicks off at 10 our time. One of those cross-country early kickoff deals.
Before we get to Dory and the gang for the pregame, join us for our Westwood One coverage of the NFL Insider.
Yes.
And the NFL preview show starting at 6:30, an hour and a half of great football
Boomer
programming.
Esiason and company.
I love those guys. They're fun to listen to, and they've got great insight, as many of them have been on the field for many years and then off the field as analysts and announcers. So that's the preview and the insider shows starting at 6:30 Sunday morning.
Good stuff. Very good. Very informative, too. So we look forward to that. So we'll be cranking it up football-wise early again this coming Sunday morning. Last Sunday, we had the game on for you at 6 a.m. from Liverpool.
We'll have the next London game on the 25th of October.
Yeah, another one coming up.
There's 3 of them this year from London. We're only able to carry 2 of them because the final one does not coincide with the start of the Mariners, the Seahawks game. So we'll be okay to just have them going on there. This is interesting. So was Jerry just in here this morning talking about Fogarty?
Yeah. She said, well, the guy that did some of those songs, that famous Creedence songs, Down, whatever they were. There's 2 or 3.
Fortunate Son. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he was on CNBC's Squawk Box early this morning.
Yes, he was on Squawk Box.
Anyways, he's got a new autobiography out. John Fogerty is telling his story called Fortunate Son, My Life, My Music.
Yeah.
A book he probably couldn't have written when he was younger because he had to deal with some certain things and involved in the story. A very difficult time with alcoholism, depression. And the deal is as well that Jerry passed along that when he was a youngster and he got first involved with the music biz, and we hear this often, music record producers will come in and go, hey, kid, I like your stuff. Why don't you sign up and we'll make you a music rock and roll star.
Yeah, just sign right here.
Well, he ended up signing away all the rights to the songs he had written and in the future wrote. Penniless Fogarty. Wow, pretty crazy stuff. Okay, have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday. Pink Friday.
Pink out, blue out, red and black out.
Do it all.
Wear everything. Come on.
You're
Rainbow
listening
Day.
to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Will your indoor pets be comfortable in a cool house this winter? A few things to consider are next from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-940-9575.